restart.
We good? Okay, we're live. Okay, they can hear us. We're back. Sorry about that. We had a few technical difficulties. Where were we?
Alert!
Let's start from the top.
We have our own code red.
We do have our own code red, but it's now a code green.
We fumbled the bag. What the hell? Close.
Nearly swore live on air. Ladies
I
and
posted
gentlemen,
anyway. Technical difficulties. Anyway.
We're starting from the top. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the European Technology Network. Today is Thursday, it's 11th of December. Luke has got the Como scarf. How'd they fare in their last game, Luke?
4-0 against Inter Milan.
Win or lose?
4 to Inter Milan, 0 to Como. Unfortunately, but you know, we're still...
We're not glory hunters. We're with them through thick and thin.
Indeed.
We can feel the Christmas cheer in the air. As I was buying off flat whites earlier, the Christmas songs were playing. It was side is frightful,
nice.
But the fire, as everyone knows,
how is it?
Is always so delightful.
Indeed.
What a lineup today. We've got some amazing news to cover, some breaking news even. Only 4 hours ago, the European Midas list for 2025 was released. We will be discussing that, looking at who the winners are. I think it's 20 venture capitalists across Europe. It was funny when I was looking at...
We have a few...
Like how you get in, like the criteria to get in. Yeah. So a company must have an exited IPO or acquisition, one exit under their belt, a valuation of 100 million or more within the past 5 years, or be a private company with a valuation of at least 200 million. I find that funny because I imagine when this was probably set up, that was like, let's set the benchmark pretty high. Let's go high with, like 200 million. Only going to get the top.
Not that many people will be there.
Now you could do some sort of AI bookmaking app. You get like a 3 mil pre-seed and get a valuation at 200 mil. So I find that quite funny. But looking at the list, there are some absolute heavy hitters on there. Thankfully, we've had the pleasure of interviewing 2 of them, which is amazing. But why don't you, Luke, talk about some of the guests we've got on. I think it's 4 guests today joining us throughout.
Measly 4 guests, but they are. I put on Twitter or on X earlier. They are MVPs of the game, all of them, which is cool. So, we don't need 5. We only need 4 because they're all big
Christmas
hitters.
As well. People are spending time with their families.
Exactly. So it's needed. But anyway, we have, first up at 11:30 a.m., Iona
16 minutes.
Heninchuich. Iona Heninchuich, co-founder of Runware. They've just come out of stealth, I believe. Is that right?
That is correct. I think 14 minutes ago, actually.
As of 14 minutes ago, they've just come out of stealth.
Just double checking.
But we're double checking.
They are out of stealth. TechCrunch right now. Runware raises 50 million Series A. It is official. They've come out of stealth.
And Iona is coming on the stream. Let's go. Exciting stuff.
I was worried for a second in case they hadn't come out of 6. Obviously, we knew, but I thought you'd like.
Oh, really? You thought I'd broken the embargo?
Yeah. I thought you'd broken the embargo for a second, but then it's in.
That's fine.
It's fine.
Anyway, then we have insane big hitter Pedro Gomez. He is a founder and director of Wallet Connect. Incredible company. It's going to be awesome to talk to him. Funnily, I never use Telegram, but the only people I talk to on Telegram are the founder and the head of comms of Wallet Connect. That's it.
Yeah,
don't use anyone else.
Crypto native bros.
So I've had to, because I don't have, I turn off my notifications to Telegram because you get notified every time someone joins Telegram.
But that's why I was really embarrassed.
So annoying.
When we joined to talk to that other crypto company a couple of weeks ago, I was really embarrassed because I joined and just I had my name, like it's like what's
Wait,
your name?
on
Telegram. And then when we're joining these chats, like everyone's got like code names, and it's all like.
Oh yeah.
So I just joined and like doxed myself, and obviously they know it's me, but like, and then like I got a message from someone I know, like, yo, what's up? You're on Telegram, and I was like, oh, was I meant to do like a cool code name, or I didn't know how.
What would
it
your
worked.
code name be on Telegram if you had one?
Ooh, well, I don't want to give it away because then if someone.
Oh yeah, true. Okay, moving on. Now we have Jack Cully. He is marketing at Granola, the one and only Granola, an incredible company. Everyone knows them. We use them. We're using them right now, which is quite cool.
Yeah. He was the mastermind behind Granola Wrapped that did the rounds.
Granola Crunched.
Granola Crunch. Well, sorry, apologies. Granola Crunch.
The Spotify Wrapped version of Granola is Granola Crunched.
Yes, that's my fault. Apologies, Granola.
They've obviously been growing like absolute wildfire. I think what's so interesting about them is their, you know, when Calendly like released or like came like launched, and Calendly was like the first thing of its kind where you can book into someone's calendar, and it was all smart and all that kind of stuff. The reason why they grew so well is because whenever someone booked on Calendly, the other person who may or may not have been, and at the beginning probably wasn't, on Calendly, would get an automated email from Calendly saying, oh, you've booked a meeting with XYZ.
Yeah.
And at the bottom, obviously, it said, this is booked by Calendly.
Yeah.
That was their single best growth function. And it's exactly the same playbook and kind of the same realm, I guess, but exactly the same playbook as Granola, I imagine.
Yeah, I noticed the other day, they're like internal growth.
Apparently it's grown like wildfire in SF because of like,
pure word of mouth.
Because it's literally just.
Remember when we spoke to them ages ago, like.
As soon as one VC like pulls on, it's like.
Yeah. And they were like, we don't need any help with like paid marketing or anything. Like our organic growth is just too nuts. Like we just need to focus on that.
Just too good.
When you actually look into the products as well, I mean, we'll have to do this really quickly because we've got some other people to talk about, but. It was like I've been using Granola like a lot recently, obviously, but sometimes like I don't really want it there because I'm maybe speaking to a friend and like I don't want it to. Not that they know because it's like a stealth note-taking app, but like I just want to use it. But I got an automated, I assume it's automated email that's like triggered when you sort of close Granola when it prompts you to open it to go into the call from like the founder, like hey, like notice that like Granola hasn't been coming to most of your meetings recently. Like, is there any way that we can improve the product? Really cool, like embedded into the, it's like it gets triggered when they can see. Yeah. Really cool. They're doing amazing work.
Yeah, it's gonna be good to talk to Jack because it's as we say, it's a pretty unique product in terms of their ability to grow purely through organic growth.
Yeah.
They don't need paid spend and things like marketing things or stunts like Granola Crunch is probably just like so good.
Product doesn't
and probably doesn't cost them a penny. So it's great. And then we have the one and only Paul Bonnet. He is GP at 20VC. The fund started.
Or Bonnet?
Bonnet, I presume.
Bonnet, yeah.
I think he's French.
Oh really?
Well, we'll have to see. Fund started by Harry Stebbings.
Sounds great.
Incredible fund. I think he runs. Does he run the Series A part of it? It's like seed, Series A. I think he heads up Series A.
There's
GP.
Yeah, there's crossover, I think.
So he leads Series A at 20VC. It's going to be really good to talk to him. And just a general, like, pretty big hitter guy.
Yeah, so they just co-led Solve Intelligence's 40 million Series B with Visionaries.
Yes, indeed.
That news broke yesterday, I think. Paul and I were chatting last night. I always love it when, this is like night before last night, we're sort of like talking about the show, whatever, like, hey, this is the structure, this is what, this is how we normally run it. I always love it when you get an email back at like midnight. I think the one
This was at 12:35. I saw it this morning.
Okay, so I got one from Paul last night at like 5 to 1. I was still awake and I was thinking like, it was an email that I didn't need to reply to.
Yeah.
But I was in bed like looking at it and I was like, kind of just want to reply to him to let him know that I'm also awake.
I need to let him know that I'm awake. But it was done on Superhuman, so is that automated?
I think it helps with, I've never used Superhuman personally, but like...
Is it like just a button thing?
I think it's like draft replies for you that's like...
It's like, we will reply with this, yes or no?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's
okay. So all he had to do is press a yes or a no.
Well, he's still grinding though.
He's still pressing yes. Okay, so let's jump into the news.
Yes.
First off, we want to talk about the Slack CEO joining OpenAI as the CRO. If we can pull this up on the stream, that would be wicked.
Yeah, you're going to pull the TechCrunch.
I'm going to pull the TechCrunch article. There's a TechCrunch article about about Denise Dresser joining OpenAI as the Chief Revenue Officer. OpenAI is hiring Slack CEO Denise Dresser as its new Chief Revenue Officer. The news was first reported by Wired, confirmed by OpenAI in a blog post. Dresser's new role comes after more than 14 years at Salesforce, Slack's parent company. While at Slack, Dresser oversaw the introduction of several AI features. OpenAI said Dresser will be responsible for the company's revenue strategy in enterprise and customer success. That's a pivotal role given that the company has a rocky road ahead if it ever wants to turn a profit. We're on a path, and this is what OpenAI's CEO said, CEO of applications. We're on a path to put AI tools into the hands of millions of workers across every industry, Fidji Simo, OpenAI's CEO of applications, said in a statement. Denise has led that kind of shift before, and her experience will help us make AI useful, reliable, and accessible for businesses everywhere. Like Dresser, Simo also joined OpenAI this year after a long track record of high-profile leadership, most recently as CEO of Instacart, which has become a close partner of OpenAI. According to Wired, Slack's Chief Product Officer, Rob Seaman, will become interim CEO of Slack.
Yeah, so...
any first thoughts? We can pull it off the screen now.
Yeah, I have some thoughts. I think it's great. I think it's a great play. Well, let's talk about optics first. How does this look? It looks like OpenAI are consciously thinking about how they can sort of appeal to and break into the enterprise market. Traditionally, obviously, they've been heavily focused on consumer.
Yeah.
Recently, we've
now
been covering,
Code Red. Now they're not. They're now focusing on.
So this is what's interesting, right? Because we've had the Code Red. Let's go chronologically.
Which actually, just a caveat before you jump, I just want to jump in.
No, please.
I can't remember who it was. I don't know, someone pretty big on X was basically like, Code Reds are normal. Like, I think obviously the press has been like, oh my God, Code Red, like OpenAI is like is in destruction mode. This is like game over. Google is or Gemini 3 is like close enough, whatever, they've lost their lead. And someone basically came on and I think it was on a panel, and he was basically like, look, like this is pretty normal. This isn't a crazy thing. Which is super interesting. But anyway.
I think that's a really fair thing to say. I do think that we spoke about it previously, like the wording Code Red, like you could
narrative-wise,
use different wording, obviously, be like, hey guys, let's
too well.
Let's put our heads together today. This weekend, let's do a latey. Let's pull a latey, guys. Let's order some sushi in and just like.
What happens if we do a Code Red? We actually had a Code Red.
We had a Code Red just now.
Yeah,
and we got over it. Now it's Code Green.
Code Green. I'm 2 coffees down.
Let's get back to this because I do think this is important. Chronologically, look at what's been happening. Like, so consumer-focusing business, the majority of their revenues is based from consumers. They've been known to sort of like focus on that. Anthropic has been known, like I think it's between 70 and 80% of their revenue is coming from enterprise companies. OpenAI have had this sort of bailout rumor problem that Sam kind of said, like, this is a last resort. Then they've had the Code Red, where we're going to start focusing on like side projects like ads in LLMs and stuff like that. Then we had like the ridicule from the public in terms of like, I'm getting, Sprite adverts and KFC adverts in my prompts when I'm trying to do research. Like, that's not cool. Whether they were real or not, I'm pretty sure they weren't. I didn't see one from a credible source. I think they were like conjured up. I think they were faked. But anyway, it was feeding into the narrative. And then we see like Mistral release like the recent models, and it's kind of like, I feel that,
which by the way are like seriously impressive.
They look really cool. It's a great step for Europe. I'm a huge fan.
We can pull that.
And I'm also forgetting as well. Like, we had the revenues sort of like what's going on here with OpenAI, and Sam are on that podcast where I forget the guy's name, but he's pressing him about, not even pressing him, he just like simply asked about it, and Sam's like, like, if you need a buyer, I'll find you a buyer for your stock. It's like, dude, like, just explain the gap in revenues. Like, the revenues aren't there to make up what you're like, in terms of like, what you're pledging and stuff. Like you're way off.
To what you're spending.
Yeah, there was something like, there was a gap of like, I don't know, 5 billion maybe.
Yeah, billion.
So what this looks like to me is, and if I can get up like, Whereas I'm just going to send you this actually, because you can pull it up maybe, Luke, on
Just whack it in the drive.
But it's essentially her Denise's LinkedIn profile. And if we pull this up and have a look at it, like, I know that there was actually, well, let's just look at it first, but essentially she started off at, this is 2003, she's a strategic account manager at Hyperion. Then she goes to Oracle as a regional manager for enterprise performance management. Then she's on this sort of board of directors for this ad council, and then she's at Salesforce. She's at Salesforce for 14 years, joined as a regional VP of the enterprise business unit, area VP of enterprise business unit, senior VP of enterprise sales, executive vice president, president of Accelerated Industries, Slack CEO. That I've worked in like enterprise sales, GTM partnership for like most of my career, if not all of it. And like that, this is an individual who knows how to build an enterprise sales function. This is an individual who has been through a ringer at one of the most successful tech companies in the world and knows how to construct like a large scale enterprise sales function. BDRs at the bottom, A's at the top, regional managers managing those A's, VPs managing the regional managers, and then obviously feeding into like your sort of top 3 or 4 dogs, and then feeding into Denise's CRO. So I think it's a great thing to do. I think there have been a few like hits on X from people saying like, oh, but like, you know, Slack wasn't profitable. Like, yeah, well, like that's not like Denise isn't sat there cold calling, and she's not sat there on like calls with AEs. She will be selling, but she'll be like the deals that she'll be doing are, you know, handshakes in the back room type thing.
Headlining the top deals.
Yeah, head honcho.
And that's obviously what Sama wants her to do, and she has the experience to go and do that. Just a quick one, this is like a perfect LinkedIn profile to go become a serious corporate weapon, climb the ladder, get to basically the top. You're now working at one of the top AI companies as the CRO. Next year, 2026, Denise, she spends a year at OpenAI. This is how it should work. She spends a year at OpenAI.
Yeah. Oh, this is your telling the future?
Yeah. 2026. Then 2027, leaves OpenAI, becomes a duck farmer somewhere random in like Japan or something.
I thought you were going to say like raise like a mil seed at like $5 billion.
Win the game, win the corporate game, climb the ladder, do what you want, make a ton of money, do whatever, and then just retire and just leave it all.
Farmer. Who is it? It's a guy from like JP Morgan.
It was a JP Morgan exec. He literally, I think it was is it?
I don't know.
Well, you've got that one that was like the Pret CEO, where he literally like went from everywhere. But then you've also got that JP Morgan dude who literally like climbed the ladder from intern to probably like, you know,
some sort of director or whatever.
Yeah, some director of one part of the bank, and just like kind of leaves it all. Or it's like, I've done my job. Now I'm gonna.
Be a chicken farmer.
Yeah, be a chicken farmer. We can pull it off the screen now.
It's off. The
Amazing
chicken
stuff.
farmer stuff's interesting. Yeah, you know, you the only way to win the game is to stop playing the game.
Exactly.
But can it be done? Could you stop playing the game?
Well, I mean, like, the game's the fun bit, to be honest. Like, this is as fun as being a chicken farmer.
That's the paradox. Maybe we should get some chickens up in here.
Yeah, but it's clear that, you know, Sama's obviously wanting like structured, you know, revenue, and it's basically like they're still top of the game, and obviously like they need to work on making sure that they keep their lead / you know, get the lead that they did have previously back to where it was.
Yeah.
But they also need serious revenue. Like they need someone like driving that growth, and so someone can kind of leave that on, and he needs this like structured revenue to be able to kind of come from it. It was like a parody account, which actually was like quite a good take, but it was like Gemini 3 may edge out on raw benchmarks, but the real edge lies in locking Fortune 500 leaders into 5-year commitments. Structured revenue consistently outperforms isolated intelligence gains. Consumer loyalty proves inefficient. Users fragment across Gemini, Grok, and Claude at the slightest hint of superior smarts, even as compute costs escalate and the $200 Pro tier becomes an unsustainable bargain for even hungrier models. The pivot to cost-optimized routing was a measured compromise, yet persistent demands for unbridled access have necessitated this sharper focus on enterprise reliability over consumer indulgence. So true. Obviously, from a parody account which had like 2.5k views, but like that's
actually an interesting.
Like if that was written by
Sam, then I think people they'd be throwing him under the bus, because I think that like that is somewhat saying that like we have no loyalty in our customer base. It's not somewhat saying, it is saying that. It's saying like that they're so unsticky and it is a fair take, right? Like people do just drift from model to model, whichever one's like.
Well, it's just so easy to be able to.
I mean, it's like you can just do it on the free tier, right? Like, no, interesting. Yeah.
But also, they all have like free trial type thing where you can try the pro model for X, Y, Z until you obviously get kicked out and you have to pay. But it's like you can try those things.
Yeah.
The long-lasting thing when you were young, it's like I'm being called by someone. When it was young, when I was young, it was like, how many emails did I have? Like to go and log in to get more pro things, more pro things for free.
Oh, interesting.
And and so what I'm saying is like people can just change and all that kind of stuff. And this is a good take. I think this is a great way to frame why they're pushing into that.
Yeah. I think like high level, it's like great optics. I think that's going to do wonders for them. I think that's going to be. It's also a signal to the market as well that like, hey guys, or a signal to like enterprise companies is like we are ready / moving towards a position in which we can be ready to like come and tackle this enterprise market head on. It's obviously necessary. It's obviously needed to like, essentially. But I just can't help but feel that like there's just been like a series of unfortunate sort of like press / media events that would make someone judging from the outside kind of a little bit not worried but hesitant to maybe like if I'm an enterprise company, I'm looking at that and thinking like, I should probably just stick with Anthropic, or like, I should probably just go to Anthropic, and it wouldn't be like anyone else, it would probably just be Anthropic. Like I don't think that would be like,
why not Google?
A tough, I guess, or Google. I mean, it is just built into the whole stack as well. Yeah.
Well, that's their play, is that they, it's inherently within people's workflow, like humans' workflows. How many people use Google Drive and all that kind of stuff, and so it's inherently built into that, and that's Google's advantage. Someone had a good take on this, but just a quick word from our sponsor. I know we've got Iona coming in a few minutes, but Airwallex, leave outdated business banking behind. The all-in-one financial platform built for the pace of modern business. Multi-currency accounts, corporate cards, expense management, online payments, all in one platform. Go to airwallex.com, please. That'd be amazing.
That tweet.
I'm just seeing if we have Iona. Is Iona coming in? We're a few minutes over. We haven't heard from her, so we'll just keep going and see.
We can drop her a note.
We can drop her a note. See what the deal is.
Do you have a WhatsApp or no?
No.
Cool. I will email her.
Yeah, nice. What was I saying? Yeah, someone had a really good take on what we were just talking about, but I can't find it. I think we should jump into some other news before we have Iona coming on.
Let's do it. Let's talk about Outdoor Boys.
Let's talk about Outdoor Boys. So Outdoor Boys, this is so good.
Love me some honey butter.
So the Church of Jesus Christ, we can pull this up. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. 14 men have been called to serve on the Young Men General Advisory Council of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They will assist the Young Men General Presidency as they counsel with other general and local church leaders to teach, serve, and watch over young men of the church. The members of the council began serving on December 1st, 2025. Super interesting, but the one name that has got this tweet to 36 million views is Luke J. Nichols, which, if you look, this is the guy that we're all talking about. Luke J. Nichols, super funny, and essentially he's been called up. He's already done it before. He's been to Japan, I think. But anyway,
He went to Japan for
someone found
he's a
it.
Mormon.
Yeah, he's a Mormon. And he was like, Luke J. Nichols from the YouTube channel Outdoor Boys has been called to serve on the Young Men General Advisory Council. Luke is man amongst men who I look up to with profound respect. Thanks, Luke, for being a light and an inspiration to us all.
Dude, that guy
What
is
a beast.
a legend.
What a beast.
Like,
We
there's
can take it
nothing
down there.
better than you know, you've done your hard day at work. You've grinded super hard. You get home, you just get to watch. Get to watch
Bit of Outdoor Boys.
Camp in the in the outdoor. Gets his honey butter going, and his little what is that? They're like bread dough.
Yeah, he put dough in a bag, and he puts dough in a bag, and then he'll like put it like under his armpit when he sleeps, and it basically just like
So-
kind of it like ferments.
Yeah.
It doesn't cook, it ferments, and then he'll like take it out of the bag and like put it and like fry it.
Yeah.
And it creates bread, and then he'll put honey and butter and all of that kind of stuff on it. So good.
It looks
So fun.
insane, and I can imagine like because
Is it down? Are we good?
he's like the places that he goes, like it's some of the most nuts stuff I've seen, and like the shelters that he sets up in like such a limited, like it does it in like 2 or 3 hours. It's nuts, like full blown, livable in insane conditions shelters. But you can imagine, like, I don't know why, but since watching him and looking at him make that honey butter bread, I kind of want to find out where like I can get ingredients to make that honey butter bread at home, and then eat it.
No, you could do it. It's just like bread and flour. It's just like flour and water.
Oh really?
That would genuinely be. That is bread. That is bread, bro. Just put flour in a bag, put a bit of water in it, and just like squidge it, and then like fry it tomorrow. It'd be great.
I didn't know that.
It'd be so great.
That was so
Anyway, another story which is quite funny is so Cameron's tweet, 20 million views. Cameron from WAP. 9:15 p.m. on a Monday night, not a single engineer has left yet. The only thing to do in life is to build. This went absolutely nuts because someone then quote tweeted it, and one, they were just saying that what were they actually saying about it? It was just like this guy. I don't know why we pulled this one up, but
Guy Dampier.
2:21, Tuesday afternoon. Just had a small glass of Sonnemolde, whatever that is.
It's like a Sonnemolde Blaufränkisch. It's like a very fine Austrian wine. And a square of Vivani chocolate.
That's European pill right there.
I thought that was so good. And it's interesting though, because this has gone viral. The 9:15 p.m. Monday night, not a single engine's left yet. The only thing.
Yeah, there are a ton of European tweets about this, which is quite funny.
It's gone viral for the right reasons and for the wrong reasons. I saw a few people saying like only one engineer is coding in this photo, and like kind of finding its way into that performative element of the startup life that people like to dance around. However, I do think that like digging into this a bit more, digging into WAP in general, like incredibly successful company, incredible hardworking individuals.
Yeah, billions flowing through that company.
And I remember
not flowing
when they
through, but
launched.
billions of dollars being made off the back of what they've built.
Yeah,
cool.
I remember when they launched. I was like one of the first users to sign up to this thing. I never like did anything with it. I was just interested in what was happening.
You're a WAP millionaire.
I was.
That's a thing.
Well, I wasn't a millionaire. I was just a WAP user.
Right.
With no money. But the other one that I saw that was funny was like, I want to talk about something after this about WAP that they've done recently. But you had like a mix of like people that were cheering for them, people that were kind of maybe taking a swing. One guy, his mega-based Chad, tweeted out, posted, "We're grinding to build WAP, bro. The whole world is going to be on WAP. Just WAP it. It's WAPable. WAP family." That ended up doing 10.5 views, which I thought was quite funny. But
That's quite funny.
No.
And there are a ton of Euro Maxes. We can pull this one up on the screen.
Yeah.
Anthony Bourdain, the European mind cannot comprehend this.
So
Can't comprehend
they do,
being in
however,
the office at 9:15 p.m.
They do, however, deserve some recognition for
take it
a
down.
recent hire that they've made. So let me I can pull this one up as well, because this is actually fascinating, and it's also, you know, yes, people are laughing at them. Yes, people are kind of making a joke of that tweet, but this is actually quite insane. And I'll put this on. I only saw this yesterday, so I'll put this on you now. Here, this link. This is, if you can pull that up, like this is...
Are we off the screen, Marcus? There you go.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And we'll pull this up. Hold on.
Oh, we have Iona coming
in the studio.
Look at that. Hold on.
Easy peasy. Iona, can you... hold on. We're just getting...
We're just waiting to sort out some links. I'm just checking
we
if
will
we
be
live.
streaming in a sec.
You're...
Yeah. Go for it.
You're not live yet. All good.
Iona jumping in. Just a quick word from our sponsor before Iona comes in. Airwallex, leave outdated business banking behind. The all-in-one financial platform built for the pace of modern business. Multi-currency accounts, corporate cards, expense management, online payments, all in one platform. Go to airwallex.com. They're right there.
That's the bucket hat they gave us.
Yeah.
We love it.
Yeah, it's a beautiful bucket hat.
Yeah, so welcoming in Iona to the stream, co-founder at Rumware, recently raised a Series A. The news broke earlier today. I think it was 11 a.m. that the news goes out. We'll be talking about the raise, talking about the product, talking about what the plans are, talking about the capital, and we are pumped for that. We are just waiting to see if we can pull Iona into the stream.
Are we good?
Are we not sure? Have you joined both links on the G Meet? There should be two, a video link and a Riverside link as well. I see. I think we're just checking with our producer, see if we can let you in. Having a few technical difficulties today.
No stress.
Which is all good. We're just seeing...
Yeah.
Oh, no, I can...
Well, we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you for making time for us. I'm sure it's been a busy morning, right? No, all good. We're just
seeing if we can get you in now.
To see if we can pull you into the stream.
Before we do any of that, quick word from Fora Workspaces to make your everyday extraordinary. Premium flexible office spaces that drive performance, productivity, and well-being. Be surrounded by greatness and rub shoulders with some of the world's most exciting companies.
I think we're live.
Go to foraspace.com if you want to get some good office space.
I think Iona's on the stream. Oh, we can't hear the sound from Iona. Okay, we can hear you, but we can't hear. I don't think our stream can hear. Are you able to leave and rejoin just to see if it's like a problem with that?
Yeah, just do both.
Maybe just do both. Yeah, maybe it'll
we'll see.
Be better. Thank you.
Few technical difficulties happening today.
It's all happening.
But Iona has literally just come out of stealth with Runware. Do you know what the company does? I want to know what this company does. But
it's the API of all APIs, essentially.
Gosh,
so
pretty good.
Yeah, we'll dig into that with her. Apparently, it's one API for all AI. So we're going to get into like what that specifically means.
What does that actually mean?
Well, we're gonna find out from Iona, aren't we?
I'm gonna have to.
That's why we've got her in here.
It's interesting. That's going to be interesting. Super fun. She'll come back in a sec. Let's just see.
Just waiting for
not the smoothest today. You know, it's Thursday, it's Christmas. I think it's a bit of Christmas cheer. We're slacking a little bit, but these things happen.
We are good to go. I think we are good. Yes, I think we're live.
I can't hear anyone.
I can see on the stream, Iona's in the stream, but I can't. Oh, is she in Riverside?
She's not in Riverside. I can't see. Oh, here we go.
There we go. We are in. Iona, can you hear us?
There we go. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sorry. That is just all on us.
We're in.
We're live. We're ready to go.
Iona, how's it going? Congratulations on coming out of Stealth Series A. Amazing.
Thank you so much. Yeah, honestly, it's been just a crazy quarter. It's been a crazy year. So it's really nice to actually be here doing this today.
Amazing.
As a kind of, finally, we get to celebrate some of the wins.
Amazing stuff. I
of
can't imagine. Well, firstly, thank you for making time for us for this morning. We were just saying, 11 a.m. the news goes out, 50 million Series A. We'd love it if maybe you could start by introducing yourself, introducing the company, and then we could maybe get into a bit more about the raise and what you've got planned for the future.
Sure. So my name is Ivana Hreninchuk, hard one, and the company is called Runware. We are an API for media generation, and our vision is to build kind of the one API for all of AI, and that's why we fundraise this. So we're a platform that applications integrate into their product in order to enable their users to generate images, videos, audios, and soon also LLMs, 3D. We want to expand that to everything. People use us because it's extremely easy to integrate and they can scale to millions of users, these capabilities to millions of users literally same day.
Wow, okay. I have so many questions already. Before I go super specific with the products and the platform, I'd love to know how today has gone. How has the morning been? What was it like? Yeah, what was it like to announce the 50 mil?
First of all, this all happened very fast, right? We raised our seed 8 months ago, like we announced it in September, like this 13 million fundraise. So announcing just 3 months later, like 50 million is pretty crazy. It's only in AI, you get to do these things. And it's literally like, you can imagine that everything happened very, very fast. So even this announcement is like, last time we had like months to announce, and this time it happened in like a couple of weeks. So it has felt like we were, doing a marathon at the speed of a sprint, really.
Yeah,
that's pretty fun.
That's the world of AI that we live in right now, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the genesis of Runware. Where did the idea come from? Like, how did you meet your co-founder? Because this is cool. I don't think we've had anything similar on the show before.
Yeah.
So we met 16 years ago, literally. We've been working on and off together, me and my co-founder, for 16 years. I can also say the right co-founder is probably the biggest determinant of your personal well-being and success as a co-founder. So we were working originally in infrastructure. We were in Romania. We're both Eastern European. We were in Romania working for a large US infrastructure company. This was before AWS even existed. So this is literally before Google Cloud, before everything, when people had dedicated servers. We were running these massive infrastructure deployments of like thousands of servers, doing the first Black Friday events with tens of thousands of concurrent users. And we were doing R&D. So we were building the first cloud products, very large infrastructure scale, specialized in parallel compute. As part of that, we actually built the first bare metal cloud product. So the first cloud that you could kind of operate like a virtualized cloud, but completely without any virtualization, because that made a massive difference to performance. So we built basically the fastest cloud in the world. That could be very seamlessly scaled and operated. And we spun that off into a startup. So we came to the UK to launch this startup. And I was the first boots on the ground in the UK, sold this product to people like Booking.com and Vodafone together with my co-founder Flavio. He was really like the mastermind behind this product. He believes impossible things can be done and then does them, which is incredible. Sure. And that was kind of the foundation for designing our hardware, designing infrastructure, building custom infrastructure that we now use today in hardware, in Runware, to build our custom AI hardware that powers our platform, our Sonic inference engine, and allows us to be like 10x more cost efficient for running open source models.
So you have your own hardware. That's pretty rare? That's pretty rare, right?
That is incredibly rare. And what we found is even rarer is people tend to be like, either they do software, so they optimize software. We do that as well. We have like very specific software optimizations, or they go and build chips. So they go and build, like design their own chips. People that do what we do, which is like, you do use some off the shelf things, but we don't design our own GPUs. We do use like regular GPUs off the market, but we design everything around. So the boards, the servers, the rack, the cooling, the entire data center is custom. And it's designed to get the maximum throughput in terms of AI inference for the lowest possible cost at the highest operational efficiency. And it's not possible to get all these gains. So when we say it's 10x, it's because you have to kind of make gains at every level of the stack, at hardware, kind of CAPEX, OPEX, then software optimization, and kind of overall throughput. So it's only by controlling all of the layers that we can get this. It's just really crazy to do this as a seed stage company with such a small team. And we can only do it because we've done it before. So because my co-founder has run a hardware team before, like these people who we were working with 10 years ago, some of the best of them are still with us today. So this is like literally a 15-year in the making, you know, an overnight success, 15 years in the making, that we are able to do this today.
That's mental. So, I've got so many questions about this because do you think we'll see more of this then? Because I've never heard of that. Of like how you're doing it. You don't think it will happen because it's just super rare. It's just like really hard to do.
So first of all, everybody that's kind of joined, even like large distributed data platforms in the past 10 years, it has mostly been a cloud first, virtualization first environment. So AWS, GCP, scaling clusters. I did that. I've run one of the largest data platforms in the world. So I was the CEO of Game Analytics, which had data from over 2 billion players a month at the time. So we are really like high performance compute platform people. But because everything was virtualized and because the performance was good enough and everything was scaling, there was just no need to go to this level. So it's only been in AI that hardware is like cool again and people care again. Like it was, and also VCs would not even touch hardware before. It was just like, it seemed like you shouldn't do that at all. And why would you? Software has much higher margins and so on. But in AI, if you don't go to that level, then you just have the same unit economics as everybody else. You're using the same models on the same GPUs and the same data centers. So at some point you just hit a plateau of how much more efficient can you be when you're using the same stuff as everybody else. So when that happens, you just hit a race to the bottom. Like people start going into price negotiations, like large clients know the margins and the unit economics, which is why it's fundamental for us in order to break through this moment when everybody hits this plateau to really control the fundamentals, like the foundations below that. And that allows us to both give our clients a product nobody else can give them. So again, much higher savings, much faster performance. And it allows us to differentiate compared to all our other competitors.
And are you now like running, are you like closer to profitability like compared to your other competitors because your burn now is like a lot lower than theirs because it's all in-house?
It's not all in-house, I have to say. A lot of so we use a blended model. So first of all, we also extend into third-party GPU providers because it just makes sense. You want to scale, you want to have capacity on demand. You don't want to wait for your custom hardware to always be delivered in order to scale. So first of all, the platform is hybrid. Two, there are a lot of very popular models which are closed source. So especially in video, so for example, in images, in text, there's a lot of open source models, but in video, the open source has kind of lagged behind. So most of the most popular models are closed source, which means you are integrating somebody else's API basically in your own, wrapping that with all of the other models you offer and adding value on top. So because of that, these API integrations tend to have fixed margin, usually lower margin, and so on. And also, we've been a very rapidly scaling company. So investing and developing all of this stuff, scaling infrastructure, doing all these things costs money. So we're not profitable today, but we do have a much clearer path to high margins and high profitability and a much higher potential when we reach that margin for that margin to be like twice, 3 times, 5 times larger than what it is for everybody else. And we will get there as we scale through other modalities and so on. So we do believe we'll get there like as early as next year, basically. That's what this round is for.
Yeah, awesome. And the round as well. Can we talk about can you share with us the decision to sort of pursue this Series A? How is the funding environment for something like this right now? I mean, obviously, it's gone well. Can you maybe just talk a little bit about the round, who the investors are, what the plan is?
Sure. The round is led by Dom Capital, who I have to say, like, they just really got it. Like, speaking to them was really easy because they just saw it. Like, the moment we spoke to them, you get the sense, not like finishing each other's sentences, but we were like, we're doing this, and they could like come, oh, it's because that will happen. And it was like, exactly, that is why we're doing it. So when we were telling them, it's like, we really believe video is not kind of very strongly open source today, but that will change because that tends to be the pattern of the industry. Closed source models come out, and then open source models come out and follow, and they're a bit later, but they end up being like taking a massive part of the market share. So kind of that's where the margin and the growth is. And they just kind of were naturally aligned. So it was an incredible experience working with them. But also like our other partners in the round, so Speed Invest, Comcast, same. They were very supportive. People brought real value, like real clients on the table that we signed through these introductions. It was such a competition to get into the round. And the way we chose our lead was on the basis of like, we have very high mutual understanding and we're working to build the same thing. I have to say, we had not expected to fundraise so soon. We still had money in the bank, but we were growing so fast that it made sense because honestly, the more you grow, the more you need to grow. And therefore, the more you need to have people, resources, and so on. The more cost you take, the bigger the deals that you do. So it made sense for us to fundraise. And we were preempted, right? So like people came to us to be like, hey, do you want some money? And I'm like, yes, please. Well, it depends at what price. Let's see what we can do. Yeah. But that's kind of how it worked. And we have beat every goal that we have. So throughout the round, I think like obviously if we were raising now, our numbers would look even better than they did 2-3 months ago. But we're very glad with the round that we got and the partners and how fast it happened.
Yeah, really cool. And like that, yeah, getting preempted, right? Like what's sort of the thought process when, I guess, I'm probably oversimplifying it, but you're sat in the office one day, you're kind of just working, and then you get an email like, hey, fancy doing a Series A? What's the thought process that goes through that?
So we announced our seed, so that's when we got on a bunch of people's radars, and again, we were not really ready to fundraise, so we were just taking meetings and kind of telling people about how we're doing, and that seemed to generate a lot of interest because we were doing pretty great. And the more we met, like even 2 weeks later, we're doing even better. So that's kind of how it happened when at some point people realized I should give these guys money now because it's only the price is only going to get higher.
And the competition's only going to get worse.
Yeah. And also, there are not that many companies in our sector. There's like 2 front runners. We're one of them. Another company recently got acquired. So there's also not that many bets. Like if you want a bet in the AI infrastructure sector for media generation, there are not really that many options. And it's a massively growing sector. I think everybody agrees this is the case. And for as fast as we've been growing, we all expect like the sector to 10x next year and maybe the year after that. So we all know that the massive growth is still coming.
I mean, we've had loads of video generation, sort of like not, this is like on the application layer. It's not directly linked to the models, but like we've had loads of video generation.
Yeah, it's actually like nuts.
Companies on the show. That's funny with the preemptive thing. We've not really had an opportunity to chat to a guest before about like what that preemptive realm looks like. But it's funny when you say that. Like we were having these conversations, but we weren't raising. We were just sort of like sharing. I imagine from like a VC's perspective, it would make them, it would make them want to sort of pursue the business even more, right? Like that's like a kind of a known thing. It's almost like playing hard to get in a way, where like it's clear that you're doing insanely well, but like we're not raising, but like we can't talk to you right now. And then it must have just been like a runaway train for you guys, which is awesome. So,
yeah.
Sorry, go on. Cut you off.
I was going to say, fundraising is very time consuming. Like truly, because once you start, you do want to get kind of a good deal. So then you do have to include more parties. When we fundraised the seed, like my co-founder Flavio did that. And he kind of started very late. It was kind of similar. It was like, oh, our numbers are not quite there. And then suddenly like everything started very moving. Anyway, when I say that, it's like 4 or 5 months really from the company launching. So it's like, again, very short interval. So then when it was time to fundraise, it was like, oh my God, now I have to meet everybody. And the product is scaling massively. And I have to keep everything up and running. And I have clients contacting me. So it was very much like next time we should start a bit have some conversations early just to know everybody, and it's not like such a like rushed thing. Still very glad, like our lead for the seed was is Inside Partners, was like just absolutely fantastic, like top global VC.
Yeah.
They also joined us in this round. All of our seed partners, like Zero Prime, Begin Capital, who have been with us since pre-seed, A16Z Speedrun, they also joined. So we've been very lucky to have very supportive investors. But it was the case that it's like this time we should meet people a little earlier, but then that turned into another fundraise.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool.
that's
and
cool.
like, what? Sorry, I'm just sort of rattling on here.
No,
Not
go
giving you
for it,
an
go for it,
opportunity to speak. But what the money? 50 million Series A. It's a pretty big round. That's like a nice Series A, even in like today terms. What are you know, how is this cash going to be deployed? What are you sort of focusing on? What's the, I don't, you know, use a word like, what's the roadmap? But like, what is the roadmap for 2026?
Sure. So there's three pillars to what we want to do. So one is this kind of, and it's all under this one API for all AI vision. So one is expanding modalities. So the immediate one is adding LLMs, then 3D, and then the vision is like support every model on Hugging Face, which is only possible because of how we designed our platform from the ground up. So we already support over 400,000 different AI models. We're the largest model library, I think, in terms of like models you can actually run inference with in real time. But that is one, like expanding to multiple modalities, and we've made a lot of upgrades to our core infrastructure to allow that. The second one is expanding our native AI infrastructure. So the custom inference pods that we have, having multiple points of presence globally, deploying that, bringing all these new modalities to the inference pods. So we've upgraded those already to allow that, and now we need to scale this layer. And I think a fear people have is like when they hear infrastructure, it's like, oh my God, you have to buy land and buy data center. And that's not at all how this is designed. It's super modular. You can like literally go from like 0 to having one of these in production in 3 weeks. And they're like incredibly small and dense, and you can deploy them everywhere. So we want to have them all over the world. We can talk about that later, but they're really, really incredible feat of engineering. And the third one is we need to scale the team to allow us to do all these things and to add more clients and to kind of onboard everyone. We run a 24/7 kind of engineering organization almost. We have clients in every time zone, so many verticals. And AI truly is like that. Like you cannot afford to work 8 hours a day. Like a model will launch in APAC and then a model will launch in Pacific time zone. And you need to have both of those day zero, and you need to support clients with the integration, and you need to be fixing bugs because another model is going to launch tomorrow. There's no tomorrow. Everything happens today. So it's we need to scale the team because that rhythm takes a toll on everyone. And we're very grateful that they already like put in so much work to get us here.
Yeah, we love to hear that.
How do you approach the hiring side then? So do you have you got people in maybe one or a few areas kind of like working at certain times in the day to make sure that you're always hitting those certain time zones, or are you working and hiring like globally like all the time?
Yeah, was that strategic to have like global coverage in terms, or were they just really good engineers?
It was mixed. So first of all, we started with the best people that we knew. Thankfully, like the benefit of being old is that you've worked with a lot of people. So we just immediately tried to bring in everybody that we knew, that we trusted from our infrastructure days. Like I said, like the hardware team, some of our ops team, like the growth team is like a lot of key people are people we've worked with before. We also we were at 36 people when we did did the round in 15 countries. So yes, we are very globally distributed. This also started as a way of being efficient, honestly. Like you can get really great talent if you're not just looking in the core, like most expensive tech centers, especially when you're less known. So I think now it's like, hot growth, whatever. But when you're at pre-seed stage and you raise 3 billion and there's companies that have raised 300 or 3 billion, it is very hard to compete. So it does help you to hire from other regions as well. We are very globally distributed. We did hire all the great people that we knew, and we are now expanding into kind of next generation of star talent. And I have to say, we also look for alternative people. So some of the people, there's this tendency in kind of AI or in startups to hire like super impressive resumes and so on. And we want some of that as well. But we ourselves are not like traditional, like we can't come from very modest backgrounds in Romania. Like we don't have like some Ivy League, we didn't go to MIT or Stanford. So we look for people based on their merits, not necessarily on having the best accolades. But realistically, we want a mix of both. So very senior talent with very strong profiles, but also people who are willing to put in the work and are committed and are super smart.
And how do you test that? Because I guess it's a little bit harder when you don't have those signals, like they've gone to an Ivy League school or whatever. Like, does that mean you have to spend more time like vetting these type of people? Is that how it works?
Yeah, technical tests. Like I think we do 2 technical tests per developer actually. And even that, frankly, like we were discussing like what we can improve because it's not a perfect measure. Some people just interview really well and or test really well or are actually super smart. But honestly, the AI life is hard. And we are very transparent with people, very much like this is not a 9-to-5 job, and absolutely no judgment if you want that. This rhythm is not something you can maintain your entire life, and not everybody can do it. But you need to be willing to put something in production at midnight and then hang around for another 2 hours to see that it's bug free and make any fixes. And it's not also because like I am telling you that. It's because that is the rhythm of the industry. Our competitors will have it out. Everybody will have it out. This is what we have to do if we want to compete and grow. So sometimes you tell people that, but I don't think they really believe it until they're like in there and they're like, oh, they were not just like, oh, this is really happening. This is happening on like sometimes on a weekly basis. So it's very, it's not just about the technical skill, but also the level of commitment that you need to have in order to do that. And we're very lucky that we have a core team that did it. So you can usually tell very quickly, like you test, we are very transparent. So people also self-select. But then you also see in practice who can make it and who can't. And then you have to make those decisions.
Yeah, super fair.
Really cool. Really cool.
I was going to zoom out and ask more about, obviously like you have a lot of experience, but also kind of, I'm sure like so many incredible people that are building incredible things. I want to ask you like generally, like where do you see kind of what you're building and the things surrounding it, where do you see them kind of going over the next like 2 to 3 years that could, potentially change the lives of like lots of different people? Very general question, but.
So I think, there's a lot of talk. AI is a very controversial topic, because there is like it amplifies people's productivity a lot. But there's also a lot of just bad AI content out there, this kind of AI slop thing. But I will say it's getting better so fast. So to give you an example, like these latest super popular models like Nana Banana, a year ago, it was unimaginable to have a model that does 4K images and takes 14 reference images as input and can combine all of them into a single image and understand exactly what you want and do all this stuff. So it seemed inconceivable to have that. So first of all, the models evolve, but your infrastructure also has to evolve. It's like, okay, like before a million images was like a million little squares. And now it's like a million 4K images with 14 reference images. Like the amount of stuff you have to process and scale and distribute is massive. But that results in much better quality output. So as a result, the production grade level, so people kind of think of AI as this kind of not quite realistic, not quite the same. You can kind of spot it. I think really there's going to be like fully production grade, no difference, best quality in the world, like AI output. And it's going to stop being such a big conversation of whether it is AI or not AI. It's just going to be a tool that everybody uses normally, like a computer. It's like, it's not, you don't say this was made on a computer. It's just, it would be ridiculous. So I think it's going to be a bit like that. It's going to be in every single thing we do at a very high level of quality. It is going to be in the hands of billions of people. But scaling this, as everybody knows, requires GPUs, infrastructure, and so on. So as we get there, there's definitely going to be I still think there's going to be growing pains. And I still think there's a battle for who has the winning models that is not defined. I will also say we really do believe in open source a lot. Like there's going to be obviously amazing closed source models, But at some point, if you have a model that does like voice for, call center chat, you don't need that to be Morgan Freeman's voice. You don't need that to be like some, like
It'd be quite cool if it was.
I'd love that if I pulled off.
and you could probably license that. But what I mean is like probably a regular human voice that is accurate, has good intelligence, reasoning, and can help you is enough. So at some point, you're just going to look for the cheapest, most cost-effective way of rolling out the most intelligent model. And open source is going to be like an incredible way of doing that. And we want to power all of these use cases.
Yeah, I love that point. And what you said earlier in that is like and we discussed it on Tuesday. We had Luke Harries on. He sort of leads a lot of the growth in the consumer launches at 11 Labs, and we were talking about like the giveaways from like image generation and video generation. Really, like maybe at the start it was so obviously AI that the eyeballs were like morphing into the surroundings and all sort of stuff. Then there was kind of like then he referenced the Will Smith eating spaghetti sort of video. And then we were kind of looking at maybe it's an extra finger or like an extra part of the body, and that was a bit of a giveaway. But recently, I don't know, maybe like the last 3 months, and then you obviously have like the Sora 2 watermark as well. But like recently, maybe the last 2 months, some of the stuff, it's starting to creep into the realms of like, I'm not 100% confident I know that that's AI. Like it's starting to like pass this test where like, I can't confidently, like I have a feeling, maybe I'm 99 or 98, but like I'm definitely not 100 that that's not AI. And I think it's a good thing. I think that this is going to be a big part of the future, and I'm happy about that. I think if the creative like prowess, the creative like opportunities are endless with this. And I'd previously been pretty bearish on it as well, so I've kind of changed my tune.
Yeah, by the way, same. Like even in the industry, I see myself as a cautious optimist. It's like I believe good things would happen, but it's not always easy to get there. I think AI has surpassed all expectations of how quickly things have improved to a level where they're indistinguishable. I can tell you can like, again, with these new models, they produce like fully realistic, character consistent output. And yes, is every image perfect? Is every video perfect? No, but it used to need to generate 300 images to get a production grade image, and now you probably need 3, 5. And this also helps people a lot. Like it helps them to put out more content to increase the production quality of what they do. It helps small businesses that never could afford, professional photography for their products to kind of have all this stuff, and kind of professional creatives. So it does help these businesses to grow. And for all the fear around AI, I can tell you it's helping a lot of people to make, and a lot of legitimate, very real businesses to make a lot more money than they were making before, and to hire people and to grow. So I think there's a lot of doom and gloom and not a lot said about that, like how easy it has become for companies to grow with this, and even for individual creators. But we see that happening because we power a lot of it.
Yeah, that's such an interesting take, because usually like when, a big macro thing changes, the ones that kind of get burnt, this is like very kind of blanket statement, but usually the ones that get burnt are the ones in the messy middle in most things. But I see, and it's kind of what you were saying, like those like maybe SMEs who they aren't kind of like, one person shops doing something very locally for like their community or just in one city, and they're doing something that's not necessarily like too scalable, but is a great lifestyle business or whatever. The SMEs in the middle, and they're not like hyperscalers or whatever, or VC-backed companies. Those ones in the middle actually like are going to benefit from this kind of stuff, really like a lot. And it's so true. Like it's like massive potential of GDP growth purely from the ability to create like the ability for the barriers to kind of like drop, so the quality therefore kind of goes up, and SMEs will be the ones that will be able to like take advantage of that the most.
Yes, and it's not to say that there aren't problems with training workforces and changing the skills that workforces needs and so on. And there's this big discussion with graduate jobs and who's going to do those. Like ChatGPT does the graduate jobs. I think again, as a cautious optimist, like I just said, my expectation is that the cycle will also move a lot faster, and these opportunities like as fear-inducing as this is, and I really understand why it is. It's changed industries all around me. Like I have friends in advertising and gaming, and like if you're an illustrator, your job has changed completely. If you're a copywriter, your job has changed completely. So it's not like we're AI founders and we don't see and we think everything we do is great, and so on. Like we do know there's real disruption, but it does feel like already these changes are being absorbed and already more is being produced. So a lot, like there was a panic, and what we see now is like the volume of work is increasing. It's a bit like email, right? It's not like we just sent the same amount of letters in a day. It's just email absolutely exploded and everybody was on email all the time. Now everybody's on Slack all the time. It's kind of the same. I think the output will increase so much that probably everybody will end up being busier than before. Yeah, which is maybe a good thing or a bad thing, depending on how you see it. But that's kind of the view, and that it won't take like 10 years for that to happen because we see things happening very quickly. And the interfaces here are very intuitive. You just talk to these tools.
Yeah, so cool. I'm conscious we've run over time. We've taken so much of your time by a lot. You have a Series A announcement to deal with. I'm sure you've probably got a billion emails and Slacks and whatnot. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you so much for spending this morning with us. We really appreciate it. And congrats again on the Series A.
Thank you so much. Great speaking to you guys. Thank you for having me.
You too. Good stuff. Great to meet you.
Cheers.
Bye.
All the best. Kind of got lost in that conversation. I didn't realise how long
I completely forgot about the time. I wanted to touch on Sebastian at Klarna. He actually wrote a tweet that only got 5,000 views, but actually super interesting because it's kind of what Ione was saying. I'll read it out. It was like, I was more in the camp of a few big AI chat apps would dominate the space, but now I'm starting to glance a different future. But now I'm starting to glance a different future. Oh, there you go. Deterministic code and execution is not confined to a few big players, and why should probabilistic be? Perhaps all software just gets AI-ified. Perhaps the early chat clients are just massive demos of the power of probabilistic coding, but over time it just gets integrated into all software, definitely the path for Google and Gemini. Basically what he's saying is it's becoming more like it's more of like a horizontal thing, less than a like one or two models will change stuff. And that's what Iona was saying. It's like that is a normal, it's going to become apparent in every single bit of life. And it's a horizontal thing. It's not like a verticalized, like this will, this is the one thing that kind of humans use. It's like everything will be AI-ified, and it's what Ione was saying. And they're obviously driving that with their company. So
Yeah. You love to hear it.
Super interesting. Super interesting. Just a quick word from our sponsor, Airwallex. Leave outdated business banking behind. The all-in-one financial platform built for the pace of modern business. Multi-currency accounts, corporate cards, expense management, online payments, all in one platform. Go to airwallex.com to go and change your life.
Yes, sir. Coming up next, we have Pedro Gomez, founder and director at Wallet Connect. He will be joining us.
Let's go.
Pretty soon.
Just a quick thing.
12 minutes.
Yeah, just a quick thing. So, Nick Clegg takes on
you want to just go right
a venture capital role alongside Meta AI scientist Jan Leeken. So I'll read this out. This is an FT article. We can get it up on the stream. So Nick Clegg is becoming a venture capitalist with the former Meta executive and UK Deputy Prime Minister, taking on a new role as an investor in European technology groups. Clegg, who left Facebook's parent company as its head of global affairs earlier this year, told the Financial Times Global Boardroom event that he has joined London-based Hyro Capital as a general partner. According to people familiar with the matter, the firm is looking to raise a new fund dubbed Hyro 3, worth more than 500 million euros. Jan Leeken, who recently announced that he would soon leave his post as Meta's chief AI scientist, is also joining the firm as an advisor. Big moves. The new fund will invest between 5 and 50 million euros into companies in the UK and Europe working on spatial artificial intelligence, robotics, longevity, gaming, space and defence. The firm aims to announce its first investment from the newly raised fund in the first half of 2026. I'm going to jump all the way down towards here. So Leeken is leaving Meta at the end of the year to start his own company. will help fund assets investments in AI companies. He said, "We are entering a new phase of AI, an era of systems which can understand the physical world, have persistent memory, and which can reason and plan complex actions." This is an interesting move. Obviously, Rishi Sunak, Prime Minister of the UK, or was late Prime Minister of the UK, he obviously moved into a role at, I believe, Goldman.
He was.
Oh yeah, well he moved into Goldman, but now
Goldman.
was at, he's back.
He joined. He rejoined Goldman.
Yeah, he rejoined Goldman. He also joined Anthropic a few months ago, maybe like 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, it was one of the first stories we covered actually on the show, I think.
And then, and now Mr. Clegg, he's joined Higher Capital investing in.
He is a VC. I was saying, like, I was chatting with a friend last night.
He's a VC. We can take it off the screen now.
We're also we'll see if we can get Nick Clegg on the show. I'd love to hear more about, the move and then his time. I mean, like, people might look at this and be like, oh, what? Like, why is Nick Clegg becoming a venture capitalist? But like, 7.5 years at Meta. Like,
I saw a few
director.
comments that were like, short Higher Capital and stuff like that.
Yeah. Obviously, he's naturally gonna get stick.
He's gonna get some
stick.
stick,
It's that's the price you pay. Like, you have to be able to take the stick to be in the public eye. But like, which has just reminded me of something really quickly. Like, I am definitely of the like where, like, if you absorb the benefits of being in the public eye, like loads of followers on Twitter, there's certain benefits with being well known. You also have to eat the downsides as well. You can't have the good and the bad, right? So like, if you're getting which is making me. Like, I saw a tweet from Sadiq Khan that we were chatting about yesterday, when he was like. He did the post with, and we won't pull it up. Sure. I just want to talk about it very quickly, just as a side thing. But it's like he tweeted out, like, Sadiq Khan, like, once more for the haters, and it was like London #1 in nightlife, London #1 in something else, and then turns the comments off. And I saw that, and I'm just like, dude, you can't do that.
If you, what's the saying? We're like, if you can't take the heat in the kitchen, get out. Or whatever.
Get out the kitchen.
Get out the kitchen.
That's not cool. But Nick Clegg, I thought it's quite like obviously it's news. It's surprising-ish. Nick Clegg has become a venture capitalist. I was thinking, like, how funny would it be if you got a LinkedIn connection request? Nick Clegg, hey, just seen you're in stealth. What are you working on?
We're working on.
You want to go get a coffee? I'd love to hear more about what you're building. You'd be like,
mate, we see Nick Clegg rolling around the streets of London, just grabbing coffees with all the top AI researchers in London.
So cool. But no, I think it's cool. I think it's great. I've been banging the drum. We just talked about it loads on the show. We, like, in order, again, my sort of view is that, like, I think when these worlds collide, the intersection of venture, tech, and policy and government, I think it's a good thing. I think we should be more conscious about that. I think we should push buttons that would create more opportunities like this more often. So I'm pro this. I think it's a great thing. Congratulations to Nick Clegg, and congratulations to Higher Capital. I'm sure it's going to be a really cool thing.
Yeah, I agree. Just getting more policymakers or ex-policymakers into tech is just generally a good thing.
I'm a fan.
So it is great. Some people aren't a fan, some people are a fan. We'll follow the story, see how its first investments go. They said that they're going to announce their first investment in the first half of 2026.
Oh, really?
So we will keep an eye for you all to see what they invest in, and we'll get the founder on to talk.
That'd be so cool.
That would be quite cool, hey? That'd be super fun. So next on the show we have, is it Pedro Gomez next on the show?
Pedro Gomez.
He is the founder and director of Wallet Connect, an incredible company. But just before we do that, I've actually just had word that an article has just come out. Let me just see where it is. I think it's on Bloomberg. Article's just come out on Bloomberg. We're not going to get it on the screen, but I will read out the was embargoed, not embargoed email that we just got from our friends over at Airwallex. Airwallex doubles down on UK and regional growth by investing $590 million, which is £436 million.
Wait, what is it? Is this breaking news?
Yeah, over the next 5 years. Multi-billion pound investment to fund increase in hiring, with UK headcount growing to over 160, as well as expansion of products including credit cards and recurring billing. It appoints new general manager, Christos Chamberlain, who is starting in January, which is cool. London's strategic hub to drive wider growth across Europe and Middle Eastern region, with additional investment and expansion plans in core markets including the Netherlands, France, Germany, and the UAE. This happened today. Essentially, actually, we can get a comment from Jack Zhang, the founder and CEO of Airwallex, who has just gone absolutely nuts on X. But basically what he's saying, while overall investment in the UK has faced headwinds in recent years, our commitment is moving in the opposite direction. We continue to see enormous potential here, especially as the global financial ecosystem pivots to a world defined by AI and new cross-border trading norms. This multi-year investment reflects our confidence in the UK as a launchpad for regional growth across EMEA and our determination to build the financial infrastructure businesses need to compete internationally. Mental. They recently moved into their new office in Fitzrovia.
Yeah, we need to go there.
Yeah.
We did.
We did.
It was beautiful.
Yeah,
they had an
incredible.
F1 like simulation thing in there as well. Remember the
F1 simulation. They had a Lando Norris like.
I have a picture of that. It's very
bit
cool.
of. Yeah, it was cool.
I put
bit of
a
artwork,
story
basically.
of that actually, and my mate thought it was like my new bedding. Like it was like the cover for your duvet. I'd bought like a Lando Norris, like my duvet cover was Lando Norris's face.
That's hilarious.
Which is cool. This is amazing. This is so cool. This is literally breaking.
So congrats
news.
to Airwallex, congrats to London.
Look at that.
Let's go. Bullish
That's
on Airwallex.
almost £500 million over the next 5 years.
Boom, let's
With a
go.
B.
We're going to be rolling in money.
That is excellent news.
Exciting stuff. Should we touch quickly before we have? Should we touch on the Midas list, or is that too long?
I think we should leave. Let's do that after Pedro. We're going
next.
to need a bit of room for that.
Should we get into? I want to pull this video up if we can. I don't know if this is going to work, but this is so.
What
funny.
is it?
This is the movie intros in 2026.
Oh, we don't have sound.
Do we not have sound?
No.
Okay, we can't pull it up. That's so boring.
We can't do that. We will do that eventually, though. We are working on it. We are getting to that. We have a few things left to discuss for this segment before Pedro comes on. I do want to try our new Pedro Gomez animation style for guests, though. I want to see
have we done it?
I'm not. Oh, we have.
It's going now.
Oh, it's going now.
We've just done it.
Okay, amazing. You'd love to see that.
Retweet and tell us if people like that. If you can. That'd be great. Or DM us, or we'll do whatever.
Really cool. Really cool.
We hope you like
now.
that.
Okay, but before we get Pedro on, maybe we could just pull up the new Liverpool Street station. Luke, if you can help me do that.
I'm just replying to a few tweets because tweeting is live.
You're tweeting live on stream right now?
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Okay, I'm just pulling it up. Give me a sec. Here we go. It's up. I said this yesterday, but it still is ringing true. I'll say it in a minute. By the way, has anyone seen the new proposed plans for London Liverpool Street Station? It will be beneath an office complex, and you'll be able to see all the trains from the Exchange Square end. I don't really know what that means. I can see trains anyway. What does that mean? Anyway, I said yesterday this looks kind of like a block of cheese, but like just being shaped. I mean, it's beautiful, obviously.
A block of cheese, you think?
A little bit. Oh, I see. You'll be able to see the trains. Oh, that is quite cool. No, I assume they'll go underneath. Super beautiful. So nice.
It's gonna be a blast. It's gonna be such a nice little redevelopment. We're looking at some beautiful. I mean, look at the architecture on that thing, huh?
Look at that architecture. It looks beautiful.
That's a train station that I'd want to linger around. Just hang around, maybe do some lingering.
Do you linger in a lot of train stations?
Oh, I occasionally find myself loitering here and there.
Nice.
Nothing wrong with a very light.
We can take it down the screen now.
Nothing wrong with a light loiter every now and then.
I like loiter. It's always.
Did you
good.
see Cursor pop up London?
Yes, I did.
They did a little thing.
Cool.
We saw the Cursor team bring a little cafe to London. We've got Ben Lang, who seems to be kind of leading most of the cafe Cursor stuff. I don't know if it was his idea. It's a great marketing stunt from them.
Why do we not get this? This has got to happen more. So actually, I have a question for.
who?
Granola. They should do one. They should do another cafe.
They should. Did they?
I feel like they didn't. I don't know if they did. Or maybe I'm asking them to do it because they did do it.
I don't know, no, because we had Anthropic recently that went down a tree with the thinking caps.
Yeah,
Everyone loved
exactly.
that.
Yeah.
I think, was there, it would be very on brand for granola, but I can't think that...
I feel like that would be a perfect play for them.
Yeah, I don't think they did. Let's ask Jack when he comes on, because that's quite interesting. I'm sure that would fit the brand very well. And I need to go to one of these. I haven't been to any of them. I've not been to the... I didn't go to the Anthropic one. I've not been to the Curse one.
Yeah, we're kind of slacking on that front.
We need to get down. Maybe give out some of our caps.
We could do an ETN coffee pop-up.
Yeah, really? Are we going to do that?
Nah.
No, we can do that. We can do that in the new year.
Yeah,
that's definitely something we can do.
Pretty fun. So I think we should be good. I want to know.
I think
do
we've
we
got
have
Pedro coming into the stream. We can see you, Pedro. How are you? We are just waiting to pull it up to the big screen and go live.
Are we good? Pedro, can you hear us?
We are live with Pedro Gomez. Pedro, how are you?
Hi, how are you guys? I like the new animation. I approve.
Pedro approved.
Let's go. We were wondering how's this going to go down? How's it going to? But we've just got some live feedback. That's awesome news. We were trying to find a really cool photo of you, and I think when Luke was chatting last night with you, and was like, "Hey, do you have a photo?" But I can only find one photo of you online. Seems like
I got very selective, and I just picked one really good one, but I have to update it because it's like 3 years old now.
There was that one, the arm crossing one, which we like. We use that for the guest announcement. But there was another cool one, and this is the only one. I literally could find no more photos. Was you in some fresh shades, some black sunglasses on, which we were going to use, but we couldn't get the quality right, so we decided to.
Yeah, but you see, that's even more outdated. You know, I have like a 4-year cadence. You know, when you upgrade your MacBook, I upgrade my profile picture.
Just once it's pending. Maybe before Christmas, before the new year or something.
Yeah. We can release a new drop. We can do the new drop live from the ETN account.
Yeah, nice. New profile pitch. Dude, I think worth maybe introing yourself to the people watching and Wallet Connect, and then we can kind of go from there. We kind of got a bunch of questions, but let's do that.
Yeah, and honestly, like, thanks for having me. I've always wanted to have like some sort of like highlights of European tech because I feel like we're definitely lacking. So I think this show is a great opportunity for that. And to kind of give a little bit of my journey, I was born in Portugal, studied in the UK, and I was there like, as many of you guys know, like London was a big fintech hub at the time. And once I actually got deep into the fintech, that's when you start getting a little bit disillusioned by all of the problems that it had. You know, we were innovating, but we were innovating in a very limited manner. And then in 2016, someone showed me Ethereum and I was like completely hooked. I remember I was going into the office and just telling everyone about Ethereum. And someone just said like, well, maybe you should quit and go to Ethereum. And I actually took that really seriously. I was like, yeah, I probably should quit and start working on Ethereum. And when I was building this like neobank at the time, like I thought, well, the most logical thing to do is to build wallets, because the wallet is what gives you this like personal finance experience in Ethereum. But you find out how the sausage gets made in fintech, you find out how it gets made in crypto and realize a lot of things are broken, start developing a lot of infrastructure, standards, going to all of these conferences. And Wallet Connect was really the missing piece that was there. So in 2018, I launched it, started promoting it everywhere. I was working at one of the early Ethereum wallets, one of the first mobile ones actually. And then Wallet Connect was like this missing piece that then Ethereum Foundation was like, yeah, this is exactly what we were looking for. How about you start working on this full time? Like, why build one wallet when you can serve hundreds of wallets?
That's interesting. And you guys have recently made a move towards like payments, like Wallet Connect Pay. I want to ask generally first, like how has it changed from 2018 to kind of now building Wallet Connect, and kind of, you know, as the industry has changed, how have you guys adapted and changed, and what you're building for?
Yeah, I feel like if Wallet Connect was a TV show, payments would be season 4. Like season 1 is like this completely like kumbaya world where it's all about public goods and infrastructure. Everyone is just like fixing and putting up the foundation for Ethereum to be actually useful. And then you go into this other season 2 where all of a sudden DeFi explodes. Like there's yields, there's NFTs, like everyone is just using Ethereum. Like the foundations had been set in season 1, and then in season 2, you have like this explosion of people just coming in and really taking advantage of this technology. And that's when Wallet Connect moved from like just an open source project into a real company and got its first venture funding. But then you do that for a couple of years and you realize that you became like really centralized. So you ended up like going backwards on what you were trying to solve by essentially building a SaaS business on top of a decentralized technology. So we then tried to kind of go a little bit back to its roots and decentralize the network. This means like having multiple parties running the infrastructure, having incentives for them to actually run globally. So it's not just like run in a server in Frankfurt, it's actually run in like South America and Asia. And that's where the Wallet Connect network came in. So then season three comes up, we launch the token, we launch the staking, we launch the governance. We have more than 20 nodes operators operating globally. And now Wallet Connect is powering over $400 billion of volume, like in a year, just from this network alone. And this is primarily driven from a lot of the use cases that you already are aware, like the DeFi use cases, the NFTs, the trading, the perps. All of this is powering what Wallet Connect is. However, we did see an appetite for a more niche product, something that is like Wallet Connect, but a little bit more abstracted. And this obviously comes with a lot of these regulatory changes and also the government being a little bit more friendly towards crypto, which was, why don't we treat stablecoins as essentially digital currency, like e-money, like we did back in 2016 with fintech? Why don't we treat it now like stablecoins is the same? And that kind of required a different approach. The infrastructure, technologically speaking, is the same, but the approach to go to market and to actually establish partnerships is a little bit different. And this is where I'm really excited to see season 4 coming up, which is now we built the foundations, we had the adoption, we have a dynamic financial system on the blockchain, and we have decentralized the network for Wallet Connect. Now let's actually build some utility around some use cases that are a little bit more familiar to the average user who just wants to buy some coffee or a t-shirt online.
Wow, so much to unpack there. I'd love to go back to season 2, if we can, and just talk about like something that I think we spoke about this on Tuesday, and it's something that I'm super curious about personally, is that, you know, what in your mind, like when were these major onboarding events? You mentioned NFTs. That is obviously one, where it's kind of like the crypto world wraps in something that can appeal to maybe a non-native crypto user, because in their mind, you know, we're just collecting art, but there's obviously like an infrastructure thing and like a technological thing behind that as well. What, being a veteran in the space, like what have been these other like large onboarding events? Like for me, when I go into the kitchen and my mum tells me like I just bought Bitcoin, like that, yeah. I'm like, okay, this is a top signal, like sell everything. But like, it's also like, that is like, oh, it's clearly gone mainstream, right? We're seeing it on the news. I think there's, the cycle that that's not over, but like we've just had, and maybe the previous one as well, we're probably very, very mainstream. We're seeing it on the news, we're seeing it trending. Can you maybe talk about that, like from 2018 to now? Like what have been those major events?
I mean, there's always like external factors and like industry factors that play a role into this. I mean, you could say that, for example, before I even joined crypto, like there was the pre-Ethereum era, which was very different. Like I can't even imagine what blockchain was even without Ethereum, like you had to launch a coin, like one token, and you had to launch a whole blockchain from scratch, and you used proof of work and everything. It was highly complicated. So the first pivotal moment was the ICO era, which is when I joined 2016, 17, and everyone was launching a token because you literally could just deploy a smart contract in Ethereum. And basically crowdfund any project that you could even come up. But this obviously was very short-lived, as you can see, and it's very obvious in the historical charts that this did not pan out very well. What happened after in season 2 was the emergence of the first stablecoin that was like crypto native. So DAI, that was by MakerDAO, which is now the Sky ecosystem. That kind of blew up DeFi because it was really hard to build DeFi between volatile and volatile assets. If you had a stable asset within the volatile assets, then you had a little bit more leverage to actually build like proper financial ecosystems on chain. This is not like building a website where you go and do everything in custody. So what I call the DeFi summer of 2020, this was a pivotal moment for the industry and also for Wallet Connect, because I recall like there was a lot of adoptions on the wallet side. So you could see the Wallet Connect software being installed and integrated into these wallets in 2019, but then it wasn't actually dramatically used by the users. It was only in 2020 that we saw an explosion, because all of a sudden people are not just holding crypto, they're trading crypto on chain. They're going and doing yield opportunities, they're going and staking, they're swapping. And then 2021, there was even another like boom, which was kind of building on top of the DeFi summer, which is, what if I don't care about finance? What if I care about collecting cats or trading cards? You know, like there's a little bit more of a bigger audience with the NFTs and the DeFi. DeFi was powerful, but when NFTs, literally, it was applicable to everyone. And that's why we even saw celebrities buying CryptoPunks and Bored Apes. You know, it was just so much easier to understand. And I think that that is a really good thing to say. Easier to understand. It's always what defines these pivotal moments. If something is very complex, it doesn't really make a difference. Like when Ethereum switched from proof of work to proof of stake, no impact whatsoever. No one cared. It was like probably the most uneventful event of the history of Ethereum. But from a technological perspective, it was the most important one. But that's not what people care about. The people care about what, can I get this? Is it familiar to me? And what do I get from it?
Yeah, we speak to a lot of, well, when we do speak about this kind of world, and like I'm like a novice in the world, right? And so I'm one of the guys that if something big happens, it has to be like super easy to understand. Otherwise, yeah, there's no point even happening in my head. And we speak about it as like there may be like this kind of education like problem and education gap. Do you guys, through your marketing and kind of trying to grow Wallet Connect, and now you're doing Wallet Connect Pay and showing that you can buy a coffee with the platform and that kind of stuff, like, is this like a conscious, like, okay, now we need to like make this mainstream by showing that you can do like normal things with this thing?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we saw for a long time is crypto being treated as this savings account or this asset that you can accrue value. So now you spend like 5, maybe 2 years earning value from this. How do you spend it? Now you have to go and unwind your whole process. You have to deposit into an exchange, you have to trade the token into fiat, and you have to withdraw into your bank account. What's this innovation of a financial technology where I can earn and I have to do a lot of work to get it to earn, but then I can't spend it? And I think that is the pivotal moment that stablecoin regulation has given. It started with the European Union, with the MiCA framework, and then we started the Clarity Act and Genius Act. So we're now starting to see like, okay, we can actually treat this as like proper financial technology. So keep your crypto in your wallet. You might as well spend it directly from your wallet. So this is actually going to be really powerful because, you know, in fintech, the 99% of use cases is people depositing money, earning some interest, and then spending it very easily. And now wallets are finally meeting that feature parity that was missing.
Yeah, that's fascinating. It kind of leads me on to like the next question. Like you mentioned, there's better adoption from one, like the masses, but two, like from a policy perspective and like a government perspective. I think it's quite clear that the US are the front leader. Well, maybe like El Salvador will be the front leader, but like the US, like is that is this something that Europe needs more of to be more open? Like, I think, again, you can say, with Trump coin and whatever, like, I think it's absolutely bonkers that the president of the country is launching a coin. But like, that aside, is it something that the EU and Europe as a whole should be leaning in towards a bit more? Like, should we follow their path in a way of how open they've been?
I mean, I think Europe already kind of had a little bit of a leadway with the MiCA framework. However, they also have this kind of weird tendency of trying to centralize things that aren't necessary. Like, for example, in US, there was ideas of a CBD, a central bank digital currency, and then it kind of fell apart because it became very republic leaning, the government, so they were like, there's no way we're going to do this. But Europe is still kind of like very attracted to this idea, and I think this is where they need to kind of like give up a little bit of the power and just create a more free market for the financial infrastructure. What's really impressive about what US has been doing in this year is that they're allowing multiple providers to issue stablecoins. They're empowering this kind of like gold rush for stablecoins, which is not happening in Europe, even though Europe was first to actually deem stablecoins as essentially e-money, which is really powerful because it's essentially a new version of fiat that's just better and faster and instant. But if they don't empower like governments and institutions and even individuals who want to do like, what's the problem with a coffee shop issuing their own stablecoin because they want to kind of incentivize a little loyalty program in their region? That is cool. Like, that's something that stablecoins can do better than traditional loyalty programs. And I think that's what the US legislation has done really well.
That's interesting. And I'm remembering now, we had Ed Woodward, founder and CEO of Zero Hash, on to talk about the MiCA framework and the benefits that it brings for Europe. We have 4 minutes left, closing out. I want to ask 2 questions, if that's cool. One is like, what is like the current thing on like crypto Twitter? Like, I remember being part of it like a few years back. Like, I was part of the normies getting swept up into the NFT world, made zero money, lost loads of money. But like, there was always like a thing that was happening. Like, what is like the main thing right now in like crypto world that people should be aware of, should be looking forward to in a way?
I mean, I think that people have seen these like crypto wallets and crypto exchanges as pure trading venues. I think we're going to start changing our mindset and treating these more like neobanks. Everyone is very familiar nowadays with Revolut and Monzo, but they don't really treat crypto wallets the same. I think this is probably going to be the biggest shift because I can imagine like very rapidly within the next 12 to 24 months, you're looking at the crypto wallet the same way you look at Revolut. You'll be able to deposit, you'll be able to create a savings account, maybe even trade some stocks in there that's going to be fully on chain. And then you're going to be able to spend and earn some points. This is what crypto wallets will become. And the difference between a non-crypto wallet or a non-crypto neobank and a crypto neobank will become very indistinguishable very soon.
How long do you think we are away from that reality?
Well, with Wallet Connect Pay, I hope that we accelerate this within the next 6 months. That is our goal. We want to make sure that we just skip all of the like nonsense, like we have built the infrastructure. It's scalable, it's secure, it's faster and better than ever. We just need to get our hands dirty and start getting builders to think like this. I think it's almost like the biggest challenge is the mindset shift because we've been trained ourselves so much from the DeFi and NFTs and the trading and the perps that we haven't accepted the fact that the neobanks are what's going to onboard the next billion users. It's not going to be more perps and more prediction markets and more trading. I think we already kind of exhausted that capability there.
Fascinating. Closing out, I mean, we have 1 minute left, but I did see, and we missed it at the start, and I'd love to bring it up. The team was recently in Abu Dhabi for the Formula One, watching Lando secure his victory. Were you there? How were you with the team?
I went afterwards, so I missed the Formula One, but I was in Abu Dhabi as well. Yeah.
Nice. What was that for a specific like conference, or was that just celebrating like marketing?
Yeah,
and
so
stuff?
I Finance Week started right after the Formula One, so I was at Finance Week, which has been quite an interesting experience where I spent like most of my career going to crypto conferences and tech conferences, and now it's like Finance Week, FinTech Week, Money 2020. Like, so I've already adopted and accepted this new crypto world, and I hope more people follow the steps of people like us who are accepting like crypto is just fintech and fintech is crypto.
Yeah, I think it will. I think it will start to happen. Hopefully, 2026 is a pivotal year. But awesome stuff.
Absolutely.
Well, really good to meet you, and thanks so much for coming on. We appreciate the time.
Cheers, Pedro.
Thank you, guys. Have a great day.
Cheers,
Bye.
man. Thanks, dude.
Amazing stuff. Just a quick word from Airwallex. Leave outdated business banking behind. The all-in-one
Leave it
financial
behind.
platform built for the pace of modern business. Multi-currency accounts, corporate cards, expense management, online payments, all in one platform. Go to airwallex.com. They are killing it over there. Amazing stuff. So next on the show, we have marketer at Granola, Jack Cully. It's going to be an interesting chat to see a little bit about what they're doing, what their plan for 2026 is.
Yeah, we've not had anyone from Granola yet, so
No.
we're going to have a peek behind the curtain.
Indeed.
Have a peek behind what makes the AI note-taking app for people in back-to-back meetings tick. What's going on under that hood, Granola? Let's have a look, you know?
Yeah. Where's their next, like, I feel like they've virally grown, as we were saying, like word of mouth and like that kind of like wildfire play. But now, yeah, we'll have to see. I don't know. What do you think their plans for 2026 will be?
Well, look, I to be quite honest, so call coming up and then notification from Granola. Hey, do you want to join this meeting like with Granola? And it's just a one click. It's so seamless, which is great. But I just press that and then I join my call and Granola's going and it's taking notes and like then when the call ends, you hit generate notes, comes up in the page. I X the window. That's kind of the experience, right? Like I hadn't actually been in the app, like gone, like clicked Granola, opened it up and seen all my conversations in so long since like, I don't know, like a minimum of 5 months, something like that. I can't even remember. And the app has changed so much. Like there's so much stuff in there.
They're just shipping like constantly.
But there's mad stuff in there that I didn't even like. You can talk to all your meetings. You can talk to them all as a database. You can generate like, what's my to-do list today? Like, what's my to-do list for the week? Like, it's pretty nuts stuff.
They're making
so,
that all-in-one platform for like busy like CEOs or busy employees or whatever.
Well, their old tagline, I'm not sure if they've changed it, but their old tagline was
maybe Jack came up with
AI note-taking app for people in back-to-back meetings. I think that was it.
Which, if you're doing pretty well like that,
the AI notepad for people in back-to-back meetings. Here you go.
Fair play for.
I remember it. I mean, it's good copy.
Yeah.
That's good copy.
And you understand. Yeah. Maybe that could be number one for good copy.
Yeah. Can't remember my friend.
If they do any out-of-home ads, maybe that's the one. Then you've got Attio out-of-home ads. They're pretty good. Airwallex have some out-of-home ads at the moment.
Maybe we should do a little copy session.
We will do. We're going to do a leaderboard. We're working on it to rank copy in London because we said copy in London needs a bit of bit of help,
bit of a boost.
And so hopefully we can do that. I want to talk about the Midas list. The Midas list has just been released. We can get this up on the screen. Shaping the next era of European tech. This is the Midas list Europe of 2025. I'll read a bit of the stuff, and then we can go through who it is or who's on the list. Europe's tech scene reached new highs in 2025, and this year's Midas List Europe highlights the investors helping founders drive that growth and continue to shape the industry. This year, we're highlighting the leading VCs who have been at the forefront of shaping the wider ecosystem by empowering visionary founders before anyone else, breaking boundaries and creating a new generation of European businesses. Europe's deep tech sector, which includes quantum AI, biotech, and advanced materials has been a particular standout, with homegrown tech champions like Mistral, Helsing, Black Forest Labs gaining momentum. In fact, there has been a 125% increase since 2017 in the number of European-based companies submitted by investors to the Midas list Europe as examples of their standout investment portfolios. In addition, we're seeing high-growth companies emerging in non-core European markets outside of London, Paris, or Berlin, like Bucharest and Istanbul. Interesting. According to a recent report from McKinsey, Europe's deep tech engine could drive up to $1 trillion in economic growth over the next decade, positioning the continent as a global leader in foundational technologies. The investors on the Midas list Europe aren't new to deep tech and AI. Over the past decade and longer, they've been on the front lines with founders on the front lines with founders. Beyond backing founders' ideas from day one, they're shaping the ecosystem, whether through initiatives to start more companies or enabling deep collaboration between industry and policymakers to boost European AI leadership. First on the list is Danny Reimer. He is a partner at Index.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's not like it's not like 1, 2, 3, 4,
No.
5. I was thinking we could go from 5 and then backwards, but let's just do the top 3 because it is cool. And it's going back to what I was saying earlier, like the reasons for getting into, the parameters in which you have to hit to get in is have an exit under your belt or an IPO, also have invested in a company that has exited or IPO'd, and then also private company valuation of 200 million, which I wonder you would assume that they'd have to change that, I think. I'm not sure when those rules were set, but
next year they'll have to change it to 5?
Probably 500 mil, 200 mil.
No, I don't think they would go that. I don't think they would go. I think they'd do 350.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
yeah, fair.
Shot in the dark.
Just firing from the hip there, buddy. Love it, absolutely love it. You're right, it has to be something higher.
Yeah, let's mention a few of the dudes and girls that we've had on the show.
I was thinking let's just go through.
Oh, okay, sorry, my bad. Okay, so number 2 is Gilly Ranan.
Well, we haven't done Danny. Let's do Danny. Number 1.
What? Go through who he is?
Well, the companies, right? Like Figma, Dream Games, Discourse. Danny Rim he's a London-based partner at Index Ventures. He spent more than 20 years supporting entrepreneurs. This year, he claims the top spot on Midas List Europe, demonstrating steady excellence and the red eye for spotting breakout winners. Raised in Geneva, educated in the US. Global Outlook helped shape Index's strategy as the firm opened offices in London and San Francisco. And
the famous Index position on Figma and when they IPO'd was, I can't remember how much it was, but insane. They led the $1.8 million seed investment in Figma in 2013 when founder Dylan Field was just 19 years old.
Oh, yeah, it says here on the stake, just below
absolutely
that.
Nuts.
Figma's
there we go, yeah.
This year, Index stake likely reached more than $7 billion in value.
According to the media reports, that's that's giving money back to the LPs and a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean it's down 68%.
Well, yeah, fair. Yeah, true.
From the IPO
kind of mispriced that IPO price.
If you've seen that, but
yeah.
hey, I'm look, regardless of the stock, I'm bullish on Figma. I think it's a great company. I love it. I love the product. We use it all the time. We do.
We use it at ETN. Number 2, we have Gilly Ranan. Gilly Ranan founded Cyberstarts in 2018, an Israeli-based boutique venture fund focused on cybersecurity that recently closed its second opportunity fund at $380 million. Before launching his venture career, he built and sold 2 security startups, giving him direct insight into the founder's journey. His portfolio includes Wiz, Fireblocks, and Island. Again, obviously, he's second on the Midas list.
Leading Wiz's 6 million seed is
it's pretty wicked, yeah.
Is pretty nuts.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
Whatever happened with that acquisition with Google? Did that go through? I thought they did one and they rejected it.
It's set to be acquired by Google in a $32 billion all-cash transaction.
Is set to be. Maybe they're still
they're still hashing it out.
But I think they offered it, and then he said no.
They're still going back and forth on the old details.
But it was no, and it was like emailed to everyone. It was like, hey guys, we've had this offer. We're not going to take it. I think they're called Wizards, the employees of Wiz. I think they have like Wizards.
So cool.
Is the name, which is really cool. At Pigment, we had Pigmenauts, which wasn't as cool. Felt a bit forced. Really.
Yeah, that is quite forced. Like Wizards just.
We used to prefer like Pigmen, like Pygmy, like.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that's good. What is it?
Pigmen. But then
Pigmenauts.
Oh, Pigmenauts, yeah.
Awful.
You don't like it?
No.
Fair enough.
That.
Fair. And just before
number 6.
Are we going Luciana Alexandru, UiPath, Miro, Vinted, what a great one. Miro as well, obviously. UiPath as well. They're all great. Luciana Alexandru co-leads early stage investments in Europe and the United States.
I didn't realise she was in Miro. She played a key role in Axel's investment in Miro, leading the company's 25 million Series A in 2018. To help the collaborative whiteboard platform scale globally. I've used Miro before, wicked company.
I loved it.
I didn't realise Luciana did she lead it? Or she played a key role? That's cool, that's super cool. And then number 8, we've had Jeanette on the show. Jeanette Zu-Furstenberg. She is at General Catalyst. She founded La Familia. She's gone into companies Deal, Mistral AI, and Helsing. Incredible lineup of companies.
That's pretty decent, isn't it?
Yeah, that is pretty nuts. But yeah, she launched La Familia, which was then acquired by GC, and now she is a general partner at GC. We interviewed her at Slush. It was incredible to talk to her, and just a pretty surreal moment, to be honest.
Yeah, it was really
4 weeks into ETN, sitting down with probably one of the most
decorated, seasoned.
Yeah.
Venture partners.
Important venture partners of the European ecosystem and global ecosystem as well. GC is a global firm, and they're incredible partners for us in terms of feeding us news and all sorts. So we appreciate the GC team, and we appreciate them for allowing us to talk to Jeanette as well.
Yeah.
So super nice. Another one that we've talked to, or should we go to 10?
I think shout out to Florian Heinemann, Project A. He's number 20 on the Midas list. Companies like Trade Republic, Spryker, Liquid. We had him on the show. He was excellent, talking about Europe, optimism, but also what are the problems? How do we address them? Absolute.
We can take it down now. But amazing stuff. So we now have. Or he should be here soon, Jack Cully.
Yeah, I think he's ready to go. We've got Jack Cully over from Granola coming onto the show. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I introduce Jack Cully, marketing lead at Granola, to the European Technology Network stream. Jack, how are we?
Hey, how are we doing?
I'm doing good, mate. Well, what a luxury to have this sorted out. We were worried for a bit, but mate, thank you for coming on. Thank you for joining us.
No, pleasure to be here, and thanks for having me.
The pleasure is all ours. Maybe before, we know who you are, but for the viewers at home, maybe it's best to give an introduction. Who you are, what do you do, what is Granola, and we can go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hey everyone, I'm Jack. I do marketing currently at Granola. I've been here for 6 months. Previously, I spent a long time at Monzo when Monzo was a small company growing out in the UK, and then spent some time at a savings investments app called Plum as well. Granola is a AI notepad for people in back-to-back meetings. The idea is that it's a kind of Apple Notes style app that sits alongside your meeting if you're doing it virtually, and you can take notes, and then at the end of it the notes get beautifully transcribed and enhanced into something new. So love the company, having a great time here, and what's amazing to see is just how much people love the Granola product, and it makes being a marketer here an absolute joy. So great to be here.
Super easy. Everything you do just turns to gold, I'm sure.
Yeah, Jack's got the magic touch. So you said something just then. Everyone loves the product. I remember when at my old company at Convergence, when we were trying to find I think we talked about this on the call when we spoke a while back, but we were trying to find we needed a note-taking app basically, and like it was the time that I was sort of helping run the Future Founders Community Embark, which has recently been acquired by Opus, which is a great thing. Sam will speak about that next Tuesday, but. I put in this chat that has about 300 people in a WhatsApp channel. Hey guys, I need to get a note-taking app. What's the best one in the market right now? Within 5 minutes, I think 12 people responded. Every single one of them said granola. And you can see how much people love it by how many people will organically tweet or LinkedIn post or whatever it is and talk about how great it is, which is obviously unprompted by you guys. Couldn't you maybe talk about that and that vibe that you guys have managed to create? Like it's super unique and it's obviously doing the company wonders.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a real focus on user problems, and I can obviously take absolutely zero credit for any of this. Our founders, Sam and Chris, kind of spent a long time, they spent a year kind of prototyping what something like granola could look like, and I think they've landed on something really, really special. And I think the reason it's special is because of the way they think about AI and the way that we've built things inside the company ever since. And I guess the idea is that lots of AI tools kind of start with a chatbot interface, and they try and give you a very open-ended point of view on the world, right? It's like, here's a box, put into it whatever you want to do. Whereas I think what Chris and Sam did a very good job at was actually getting down to the crux of the real user problem, which was focusing in meetings and having actionable, beautiful notes after those meetings, and actually how AI could help people do that. And then once they had done that, it was about finding the right form factor for that to go into. And actually, we found that people really love having a notepad on the side of their meetings that they can edit at any time. They can add their own notes, and it feels very much more like their place to take notes, rather than other situations that have arisen in the last kind of 6 months to a year or so, where there are hundreds of, maybe thousands of meeting transcribers that give you the transcript and give you a summary, but it doesn't have what makes granola very special, which is notes that feel like yours. And they feel like yours because granola understands you. And granola understands you because it is aware of your context, whether that is the notes you've written, who you are as a person, or the meeting you're in. So I think those are just a few things about the philosophy that the company has had as we built this product.
Yeah. So do you want to?
No, go on.
Yeah, it's super clear, right? And another question that comes into this is like, being on, I guess, from a more like commercial and consumer launching and like stats type of position, like how does it feel internally? Because that is basically just PMF, right? Like you have your product is, well, it's PLG that is now PMF. Like your product is distributing itself just by being good and looking amazing.
Just by being there, yeah. By
like just being the best product to use in the category. What does it feel like? How does that feel like internally? Like when you kind of hit that, like you don't need a massive outbound team. You don't need loads of paid like sponsorship or anything like this. It's just doing it itself. How's it feel?
I mean, like we feel a kind of massive sense of responsibility at Granola to keep growing the products to be even more useful for individuals. That's the real key thing, right? The thing that we really focus on at Granola is making a beautiful product that individuals love to use. Now, if we could make that individual product that people love to use with their team, that's an even better motion, right? Because all of a sudden it's going from a tool that's for one person to a tool that's for many people. And we've been spending a lot of time working on that. But it's great that we've got yes, we've got a huge amount of word of mouth growth. But we are thinking about how we continue to grow Granola as well, kind of on top of that word of mouth growth. And so kind of we're thinking about that from a marketing point of view. How do we start to grow our marketing function, which is very exciting, and we're thinking about that here. And also to kind of sales as well. So typically, lots of folks have kind of come to us to ask questions, but we haven't done a bunch of outbound sales before now, and we will do that more kind of as we go into 2026. So yeah, feels great to have a product that people really love, but we're not just sitting back and thinking, great, this is the product we've done now. We are really thinking about kind of how we develop it, every single day. So yeah, it's a really amazing place to be. And honestly, when you have a product that people love, it makes marketing a lot easier, because I can just say that people love it, and that's basically the marketing line. Of course, there's a lot more into it, but it genuinely does make it a joy to be here. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, definitely. And you've had experience at Monzo as well, I believe. And I want to touch on the differences of working with marketing the different products. Obviously, Monzo is a company where the product is loved by millions of customers around the world, and so I want to ask, how is that different to working at Granola and marketing Granola? Because you can again say, oh, our customers love Monzo as well.
Yeah, it's a great question. I actually see kind of the roles that I played, the role I played at Monzo and the role I play here, as very similar. It's quite easy to forget now, but 10 years ago, fintech was extremely novel, especially for consumers, right? Like there was like some B2B fintech floating around, but it was still very, very early. And so too was, I guess it was a new and nascent thing. And so my job was to try and explain what a bank that was on your phone was actually like, and kind of come up with ways of expressing that. And I think today, like, people understand, and every bank has got an app, and every bank does some of the novel things that Monzo did at the time, from things like get paid early through to having pots and things like that. So it really was just like kind of being in the room as these things were innovated, and then finding out the best way to talk about those things. And that's kind of what I do here as well, like figuring out how to do the best messaging for AI. And fintech is now not new technology, so I think it would be a different role, and it's new. AI is now the new technology, so I love that challenge. I think the maybe different thing is there's a lot of regulation around financial technology, and now the kind of role of product and brand marketing, which is kind of the place I play, it was actually very, very nascent in like 10 years ago. Basically, no one had heard of product marketing. So we were trying to figure out what product marketing actually was at the same time as doing product marketing. And now it's much more established, and a lot more people understand what product marketing is. And so they understand the value of it. And that's kind of, I guess maybe a different thing as well.
Yeah, and I want to touch on, obviously, we were speaking about it earlier, but now you've kind of, it's a product that genuinely everyone loves, and you've hit PMF and all that kind of stuff. And so now it's like finding that next like gear and the kind of next thing, and making sure that the product is always evolving and getting better and better for the customers. You as a marketer, how do you look at that? Because it feels like it's almost like a void of I could go down this route and try this. Are you guys like trying lots of different things, or are you trying to make sure that once you're down one rabbit hole, you kind of really explore that and just see if it's right? Like, how does it actually work, like day to day? Like, what are you what are you working on that you feel like is the next kind of like step for Granola?
It's a great question. I think certainly I do, and the rest of the team at Granola spend a lot of time with customers trying to kind of understand how they're using the product firstly, but also kind of pinpointing moments in their day that we can help out with. And we do that in a number of different ways, right? Like, I spend a lot of time talking to folks, whether that's like through video, right, like we are talking right now, or just literally emailing folks and trying to figure out what their kind of next pain point is. And then I think it has to be kind of adjacent to what we do now. So is it pre-meeting, post-meeting, definitely to do with work, obviously. So yeah, we spend a bunch of time doing that. So can't reveal anything that we're working on, but I will say that we spend a bunch of time, and that's where I spend my time, right? Like really understanding what customers want, thinking about how granola can serve that purpose, and then rewriting a message to be super clear and transparent about the thing that we've built for them. I think with a tool like granola, the exciting thing about marketing, I guess, is that it covers such a different gamut of use cases, and we've only really scratched the surface of how people are using granola. So for me, the next kind of 3-6 months is all about what are the specific ways that different types of disciplines are using granola, and then how do we reach those people? So right now, granola is very popular amongst product folks, mainly in the US, but I can see it being just as popular for people in large enterprises or people who work in large sales organizations. And for me, that's like the big thing for 2026 is how do we reach all of those individuals? And that's how we'll continue to grow.
That brings me on to my other question in terms of like from a PMM's perspective. A lot of it is one, enabling and educating the market on what does the product do, why is it valuable, why should you work with us or buy the product. But there's also an element to like these sort of marketing stunts from a growth perspective. Granola Crunched was one of these that seemed to go a little bit viral recently. Everyone was sharing their Granola Crunched. Can you, I thought it was awesome. I thought it was really cool. Can you break down like, thought process, the work leading up to this, when you decided to do it? Was it a success? Tell us more about Granola Crunched.
So look, we were absolutely blown away by the response to Crunched. It went way further and wider than we could have even dreamed of, honestly. Like, it was amazing to see like our timeline, and it's still happening now. Like, it's amazing. People have like logged into their first meeting this week on a Thursday, seen their Granola Crunch, and are still sharing it. Our kind of X and LinkedIn timelines in particular are just full of mentions. It's definitely the kind of the most buzz we've had as an announcement so far. So that's really cool. So big success for us. We're really kind of blown away by it. Blown away as well by kind of, it's great that people are talking about granola. They're talking about granola for a bunch of different reasons. I think we did something a little bit novel with Crunched, but I also think people are kind of really proud to show themselves through Granola Crunched, and we can talk a little bit about that. That was very much part of the strategy. But what we love to see is just people. Two things that really stood out for me. Number one was, people who haven't had time yet, and I don't think many people have, to sit back and reflect on the year they've had. So to sit back and think, how did I do in 2025? And I got a bunch of messages personally from people just saying, I didn't realize I achieved this much, and Granola was able to tell me, and I feel so much better about my year. I think the second thing that I've really loved is just hearing how Granola managed to hijack offices for like a day, right? Where everyone was going into meetings and saying, what did your crunch say about you? And like the Slack hallways have been kind of populated with Crunched. And, these are not impressions we're ever going to see. From a marketing point of view, I can never measure that, right? I can't see how many people have been talking about it in meetings or been talking about it on Slack. But it's like a joy to hear. So that's been great. So yeah, real big success for us. I think the way we thought about it, honestly, was we wanted it to be a celebration. Like, it's really clear that I think this comes through really well in the tone. Like, people have been working really hard. People work hard every year, but 2025, I feel like, was the year, like the first kind of post-pandemic year where things feel normal again and people are really, really working very hard. So we wanted to celebrate that. We wanted people to see themselves. We wanted people to celebrate their colleagues, and we wanted people to feel it was a bit of fun. And those were our kind of three guiding principles. And I think that comes through, different parts of the narrative that we built do different things. So there's parts of the narrative that are very much about your friends. There's parts that your colleagues, where it's just too irresistible to you have to share it with the person that we kind of celebrate there. There's also kind of quite serious bits where we talk about what we think your hidden power is, like something that you might not have noticed about yourself. And then there's fun as well. Like we give you a promotion, which is like a bit silly. So we had all of those kind of go through. So feel pretty positive about it, and I think it's been really validating to see folks, compare us, like comparing us to Spotify Wrapped and saying, some very complimentary things about us in comparison to Spotify Wrapped is really cool. I think that's because we did something genuinely novel which is kind of use the power of LLMs, but more importantly, excellent prompting skills for LLMs, because it's very hard to make an AI funny, yet Jo, who's the chief of staff here, managed to achieve that. She writes our prompts. Yeah, I think that's the reason it resonated so strongly, because it's something genuinely novel and new, and people really saw it. So yeah, over the moon.
So cool. I'm looking at time. We have a minute left. I did want to talk about branding and the way granola is styled. I think it's a massive element of why people like the product. I think personally, Luke and I, we talk about this a lot on the show. We think now more than ever, it's important to have a beautiful, well-crafted brand. Now that like the barriers to entry for content creation are lower, and naturally, like the average of that quality is also lower. Maybe just to close us out, like granola branding, 2026. Like what can we look forward to?
Yeah, I think, well, all of that is kind of down to the taste of our co-founders, Sam and Chris, but in particular, Sam, who is a designer and, leads design at Granola and has his hands on all things design here. And look, I think it is down to kind of taste, and he has fantastic taste. And making sure, actually now as we grow, that we have a team of folks who really care about kind of beautiful design. So we hire very visually people who really care about visual design and also can build excellent UX experiences. So that will be a thing that we continue to care about into 2026. And I think that is the thing that differentiates us, is that we spend a lot of time designing our experiences. That doesn't mean that we spend a lot of time in Figma, like trying to figure stuff out. What it means is that we do a bunch of like very iterative changes and get them in front of customers quickly. And then we design. The design is a process, right? And it always will be, but it's a messy process where we're going back and forth between customers and users and people internally and trying to figure out what feels and works best. And then we add a beautiful level of polish on the top. And that will be how we succeed, I think, in 2026 and differentiate between all of the other kind of tools that do maybe similar things to us. The thing that elevates us, I think, is how beautiful it is and how great it feels to use in the hand. It feels like an ergonomic tool, and that's what we're really proud of here. So we'll continue to do that into 2026 and beyond.
You heard it here first. Good to hear it. Jack, thank you so much for coming on to the European Technology Network. Until next time.
Great to see you both, and thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much.
Cheers, Jack. Ciao.
Super
Sneak peek
times.
into Granola Crunched.
2026.
Let me tell you about our friends over there at Airwallex.
Yeah, nice.
What I want you guys to do is I want you to leave outdated business banking behind. It's the all-in-one financial platform built with the pace of modern businesses, multi-currency accounts, corporate cards, expense management, online payments, all in one platform. I want you to go to airwallex.com, buy yourself some Airwallex.
Just go and do it. I think we should touch, before we have our last guest on H Company's new COO.
A juicy one.
The Palantir-inspired hiring spree. We can get this up on the stream. So 3 months ago, Palantir alum Geraldine Lafontaine joined Paris-based agentic AI, great name, agentic AI startup H Company as Chief Operating Officer, and was reunited with quite a few of her former colleagues. The buzzy company has been hiring profusely from the ranks of the US big data giant since former Palantir exec Gautier Cloy took over as CEO earlier this year, promising to bring his previous employer's secret sauce to H. Basically, they're just hiring like a bunch of ex-Palantir people.
That's the secret sauce.
That is the secret sauce. It's true. Palantir is an incredible company. They're doubling down on FDEs, forward deployed engineers. They are focusing I think purely, I want to say, maybe primarily, but purely, I think, on big enterprise contracts and basically using FDEs to work very closely with enterprise clients to build exactly what they need. Basically, the article goes on and just talks about the core technology developed by the company's research and deployment development team is the same with H building families of models to power AI agents that can navigate web, mobile, and computer interfaces. But the business is now exclusively focused on deploying the technology in large enterprises rather than with consumers as well. LaFontaine's priority is to deploy H's products with customers as efficiently as possible, she says, and this means hiring forward deployed engineers. It's a pretty standard strategy for companies like this.
Yeah.
Obviously, H company has kind of been on the rocks a little bit, and this is their way of getting back. Hiring Palantir people, forward deployed engineers, seems like it's a pretty good strategy.
Yes, look, my take on this is, so H company launched the browser-based agent. That's why H company, they build agents that operate on the browser. When they first launched, well, basically, they did a 200 million euro pre-seed.
Yeah.
Right, I can't remember what the valuation was. It was something nuts. They did 200 million euro pre-seed to build browser-based agents. Convergence, my old company, we were doing the exact same thing. We raised 12 million pre-seed from Balderson, Salesforce Ventures, and Shopify Ventures. H company were scary at first. They had so much cash. You could tell just by the design of the website, like how much they were thinking about brand and that type of thing. But they had 5 co-founders. 4 of them left. Sifted were covering all of it, so Sifted is neutral, but it's interesting that they've done this piece that favours them so highly. But they had 3 or 4 co-founders that left literally a month after raising the 200 million, or a couple of months after 200 million. They didn't do anything for 6 or 7 months. They had a website. They had a blog piece on there, but there was no blogs. They had a Twitter account. There was no updates from the Twitter account. All you were seeing was like CEOs and co-founders were leaving the business. So from an outside,
Were doing like investor updates or not?
Probably not. I don't know what they'd be updating them on. Hey, we lost another one today.
Now the fly's gone.
Another one bites the dust. Like, I don't know what they'd update them on, but like, and I'm taking a negative view here because I think that it was 200 million pre-seed is absolutely ridiculous. Browser-based agents in itself, I think we are still so far off finding an application. And the reason I say this is because But
do you think H company can do it now? Honestly, would you be bullish on H company?
Honestly, no.
Really?
Yeah, honestly, no. Because, don't get me wrong, the turnaround that they've done from on the outside looking inwards, I think they've done an amazing job from PR and press approach to turn this thing around. And don't get me wrong,
that article is pretty positive.
The new CEO and the new people they're bringing in, I think it's a great thing, and fair play to them for the amazing work that they've done, because they have done amazing work on turning that ship around. Because 200 million raised, all the co-founders leaving, it only left one co-founder who I think was 25, I think. The last guy standing. They brought this new guy in, this new CEO, who's immediately reshaped the business, and they've done exactly what they need to do. They need to get into large enterprise companies with forward deployed engineers, who, by the way, I think forward deployed engineers, I don't think they're new.
No.
But I think they're just solution architects, or
well, it's like a new job.
It's a new term.
It's a new job. So, the FT came out with an article basically saying AI groups are on a hiring spree for a rare kind of software developer who can code and talk to customers, because usually they can just code, they can't talk. As they race to increase adoption of their cutting-edge technology, Anthropic, OpenAI, Cohere are recruiting for so-called forward-deployed engineers, a new group for generative AI companies, as part of a push to generate more revenues by installing specialists within businesses to help them customize their AI models. It's a thing. It's like a very clear strategy, and that was, I guess, that was that was posted November 2nd, so not that long ago. I was going to say hiring FDEs is not like a new thing, but it's obviously a proven thing, and it's the ability to leverage the research, the R&D of a company like an OpenAI, who, you know, they're working on enterprise contracts, and hiring an FDE is clearly like the way to go to hit PMF or make sure your customers stay with you and there's no churn and all of that kind of stuff, and making your customers happy. And therefore it's a clear, obvious way for H company. I think it's great ability. I disagree with you. I think I'm pretty bullish on it.
I just don't know what the
bullish
use
on
case is.
Palantirs, bullish on, you don't know what I guess.
What's the use case for browser-based agents?
But
No
I
one
guess
can answer
that's-
that question still.
No, true.
No one can answer it. And I'm not saying I'm anti.
But I guess that's the reason why they're employing FDEs, is because they need to work with these enterprise clients who they can say, hey, look, we've done this whole remodel, things have not gone well, but now we're in a position to be able to attack a problem that you guys want to attack. They can sit with, and the main question is can they get these employees in? Can you convince because an FDE is like, you know, probably a super, like every company wants them, right?
Yeah.
And so can you convince them to, one, come with you, but also stay with you on the journey for long enough that it takes to be able to generate some form of like, you know, great career move into H company? I don't know.
Yeah, I
But
think,
as you were saying, narrative-wise, it helps.
Narrative-wise, it's great, looks amazing for like an enterprise push.
But you're still
It's
bearish.
big. Well, because I come from a browser-based company, again, I'm non-technical, I'm coming from a go-to-market perspective, which, by the way, like, you need that to get the contracts, to get the revenue, to build the business. And like, dude, coming up with when you're forcing yourself to come up with the use cases, when the use cases aren't super clear, I just think that maybe it's a dead end.
Yeah,
Maybe,
fine.
Not a dead end. And again, I'm not going to like laugh at someone for like, you know, oh, maybe this horse and carriage could be quicker if we replace it with a car. And I'm like, oh, why wouldn't you just add more horses? Like, I'm not like shunning innovation at like how ridiculous it might seem. I'm obviously pro innovation. I like things that move in a certain direction. But I just think that like, I don't know what the way out is, but like, I mean, maybe we can get someone on to talk about what's going on internally, but like, I don't know how you turn that around from
Palantir, now H company, human on to talk.
Yeah,
That'd be quite cool.
that would be cool. I'd love to sit down and.
Well,
have
if anyone
that
wants to come
conversation.
on from H company, please let us know. We won't go too hard. You know, we don't know anything. We want you to teach us.
We want to be taught.
We want to be
our eyes
taught
to be
about
opened.
FDEs. We would never be an FDE, but we want to know about the FDEs.
Sorry, and another thing, the FDE thing, like.
Oh, right.
Like, yeah, not H company, not H
No, I
company.
thought you were going to go into an ad read. That would be
Oh,
quite
right.
cool.
No ad read.
Airwallex lead backdated business banking
Okay, maybe
behind the all-in-one financial platform built for the pace of modern business. Multi-currency accounts, corporate cards, expense management, online payments, all in one platform. Go to airwallex.com to go and do everything you want to need, or you want to need, you want to do, slash need.
/need.
When you're running a company, it's an obvious choice. Go.
I was just going to say, like, yeah, FDEs, are they new? Have they just rebranded the name? Like when we were at Pigment, like, and they needed an implementation consultant, you know, someone who is technical from the team would go with them, they'd sit down with them, they'd help them build it out, they'd make sure everything was okay. Thumbs up, guys, you happy? Cool. Give me a call if you need me. I'm going to go back.
Yeah.
Like,
I just think it's a super funny way of for the FT to explain what an FDE is. AI intelligence groups are hiring spree for a rare kind of software developer who can code and talk to customers. Like, that is crazy.
so peak.
They are rare. They're a rare beast.
Yeah.
We're just seeing if Paul Bonnet is coming on the stream.
Is it Bonnet or Bonnet? Are you sure it's Bonnet?
I'm pretty sure it's Bonnet.
We've got Paul here. Paul, how are you? We were just talking. Is it Bonnet or Bonnet?
Well, it depends. If you're in the UK, it's kind of bonnet, but if you're in France, which is where I'm from, it's definitely bonnet, which also means a beanie, actually.
Nah, okay, Luke
I've been
was
saying
right.
it Bonnet every time Ronan's like, is it Bonnet?
I
Is it? And
wasn't
I'm like, yes,
checking.
it
I
is.
was just,
yeah,
just wanted to,
Let's go.
to make sure.
Let's go.
Paul, thank you so much for your time. We're absolutely buzzing to have you on the show.
One of our last guests of 2025 as well.
One of the last guests of 2025, coming towards the end of the year. The Christmas spirit is in the room. But putting the Christmas spirit aside, let's talk about you. Let's talk about 20VC. Let's talk about your role. Maybe for the viewers at home, could we get an introduction on who you are, what do you do, and what is 20VC as well?
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's very straightforward. I'm a GP here at 20VC. I lead everything we do around Series A and growth. At 20VC, we are basically a media-first or media-enabled VC firm, and our job is to back world-class founder and enable them and like basically until exit, IPO, and beyond. And so, the team is a fairly small team. We have 5 partners, no juniors. We have a 400 million fund, and we invest across pre-seed all the way to Series A, and sometimes opportunistically later on as well.
Amazing. What's the is it a strategic thing only having partners and no juniors? I presume it is.
Yeah, I think it's a very strategic thing. Like if you think about the most precious resource that founders have, it's their time. And so the way I think about it, the person who speaks to the founder should always be in the flow of everything that's happening within the company. And by only having partners who work closely with the company all the time, you can't delegate the things that you don't like to anyone else. You have to deal with everything. And so you're always in the know. And I think it's always a better dialogue actually with the founders this way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's cool.
Before, I mean,
That's
we
quite rare, I
have
think.
like a I guess somewhat breaking news with the Solve Intelligence co-lead their Series B for $40 million alongside Visionaries. Can we, maybe before we jump into that, I just want to ask one question that's related to what you just said in terms of like, we are a media first venture firm. This is, I think, where all firms should be or are going in the space of venture. I think that 20VC is an obvious leader in that. I think A16Z are also an obvious leader in that. Can you maybe just talk about like that in itself? Like, I think for me, when I first saw the 24-hour investment video that you guys did with Marius from Peak, like that was cool. That was like first of its kind.
You have more. Well, you don't have any juniors, but you have like editors. Like that's like pretty unheard of in a
yeah.
VC
Can we
firm.
just?
They're not juniors. They're just awesome people that
exactly.
enable us. Like for us, it's really fantastic to have them. And I think maybe, look, I think I have to credit Harry's brilliance there. I think he saw something 10 years ago that people were not seeing at the time. And so creating the podcast 10 years ago when nothing of the sort was really there enabled him to compound like a massive head start. And that head start, like when I say compound, it's really the right term. Basically, media enables you to have both share of voice and network. And that share of voice literally grows with time. So the more you do it, the bigger it gets if you do it well. And the network also compounds with time because all of the guests that have been on the podcast are at one point or the other are actually close to the firm still. And so they enable us to help founders with top of the funnel, so chips in the pocket. How do we find new customers for you? But also to solve their bottlenecks with business on a daily basis. So let's say you want to find a new head of sales. Well, why don't we put you in touch with some of our amazing 20 sales crew because they will be able to assist you with that. So that's kind of where it comes from originally. And then what it also enables us to do is we have this in-house media crew. And that enables us to be very creative as investors. And because 20VC is a very entrepreneurial place, if you have an idea, you can experiment with those guys to create something that's a little out of the ordinary. And so on the 24-hour video, actually, Kieran, my brilliant colleague who is on seed and pre-seed mostly, just thought, hey, why wouldn't we do something that explains exactly how the process went? And so people think we're telling stories with that video, but it's actually exactly what happened. It was a 24-hour deal. We sourced it using Harmonic. Harry spoke to Marius under a tree in Hyde Park when it was raining. He wanted to pass on the deal. He actually told Kieran, hey, you should chat to the guys because actually it might be special. And Julian spoke to him in the evening as well. And then we flew to Berlin the next day and actually signed the term sheet the next day.
That's so cool.
That's so fun.
Awesome.
I want to ask about your like the more the detail in terms of like day to day. Does it change your role as a VC? With well, it probably does, but how does it change your day as a VC with this kind of media arm that you can kind of deploy? And when, like, with the podcast that you guys can kind of like, you can lean on and the network that it's built, like, do you do that a lot? Do you kind of allow your portfolio companies to lean on, say, 20 sales or 20 growth? Is that a thing in your day-to-day life as a VC there?
Yeah, of course. And by the way, this is actually what enables us to be such a small team and to do so much. Because at the end of the day, what founders want is to have current knowledge from top operators and actually more customers. They don't really care to speak to us hours on end. And so it enables us not to outsource the job, because it's probably the wrong term, but actually to get assistance with all of the things that those guys are looking for. So yes, it changes the daily job in a very positive way, in that we can actually bring that knowledge to the founders, number one, but also for me, it was a massive learning to actually use media in my daily life. And for the founders, it also makes a difference. So if you think about that video for Peak AI, I think when Harry posted it, there was over 3,000 likes on that post. And when you're a company like Peak, when you're an AI GEO, well, you kind of want to have that exposure. And so that share of voice that we can have with the media is actually something that also translates to brand for the companies that we back. And like king-making is something Harry loves to talk about, but the media aspect enables you to do both strategic things and to give that share of voice and king-make a little bit.
Yeah, it's so fascinating to see it play out live and see these companies like reap the rewards of of partnering with 20VC. We had Marius from Peak on, I think it was last week.
Yeah, it was last week.
Maybe.
This guy.
He's so cool, right?
Dude, he's such a legend. I was saying when we spoke to him, like, I first met him like a year and a half ago at this like rooftop thing in Berlin, and he was still working at PwC. And like we had a very quick conversation, like clicked straight away, which talking about like how much money we were losing in poker that week or other stuff. And then like we kind of like fell out of touch. Like I had his number, but we never really spoke. And I just saw him pop up on LinkedIn when he was like announcing that he'd raised all this money with Peak. I was like, dude, what the hell? That's so sick. But yeah, no, like he was talking to the benefits and the value of being a partner of 20VC, and it makes complete sense, right? Like from a go-to-market perspective, it's kind of built into the offering, and I think as the game becomes more and more competitive in terms of like rounds and price, and it's an amazing like ace up your sleeve that I guess the 20VC team can provide.
It's like a piece of leverage right there.
In general, as a VC, like you have to sell. Right? Yeah. It's competitive. You're basically selling money to a founder, and money is a commodity. So what is the unique thing that you do very well that you can bring to founder that resonates with them, that they will decide, hey, I want to partner with those guys? And it's not just the media. I think it's also the team that we've built. And I think this is something we can talk about later on. But like the unique offering with us is actually very clear. And I think that clarity enables founders to make a very conscious choice. And we're also very clear on what we don't do. And so it leads to very positive partnerships, I think, down the line.
Yeah, for really sure.
Cool. Should we dive deep into Solve Intelligence?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
I want to know, firstly, like, why you guys were bullish on the company and kind of like how did it all come to be?
Yeah, so I have a big smile on my face when I talk because obviously, look, they just raised a 40 million Series B. We co-led that Series B with our friends Rob and Bella at Visionaries, and it's coming less than 9 months after the Series A, which we led. And the beautiful thing here, it's not like just consecutive rounds without anything having changed in the middle. Like the company has more than 10x since 2024. The guys told me at the beginning of the year, hey, we'll be at 8 digits of ARR within 18 months. Well, guess what? They've done it within 11 months. And it's very rare to come across people who basically under-promise and over-deliver. And so when I think about Solve and why we're bullish on it, I think like it's very simple. Our job is to back world-class founders. And I've had the privilege to work directly now for 9 months with Chris, Angus, and Sanj. And I think they are world-class people. And I think if I try to decompose why they are, I think they have, number one, they have incredible intensity. So those guys are obsessed. They work 24/7, year-round. They answer at any hours of the day and of the night. And it's not just them. It's also the people that they have surrounded themselves with. Today, the company has 20 employees. And all those 20 employees are, it's incredibly efficient, by the way, like 8-digit ARR, 20 employees, like it's not by mistake. It's literally all those guys are obsessed. Every single one of them is highly talented. And it shows, like in the middle of August, we had a board meeting on a Friday. And the board meeting finished at 6 p.m. on a Friday. And the guys were like, hey, do you want to come and see the office? And like deep down, I was like, I'm not sure I want an empty office. Like, it's not really my thing. Like, you know, delivering shareholder value, all that. Well, they showed me the office, and like every single employee was at their desk working, and better, they looked happy. They were pumped by the mission that they're on. So I think that intensity and being able to surround yourselves with the people who share that intensity is incredible to see, and it's very rare. I think the second thing that they have is they only focus on one thing. It's so rare. Like when you back a founder, sometimes you see them start to angel invest and do other things. Well, there is only one thing for those guys, and it's solve intelligence. And the fun part is actually like, it's also a really good anecdote. Like that deal almost never happened. And why do I say that? Like we were ready to pass on the company at the Series A for price reasons. And we literally told Chris, we told him, hey, Chris, thank you so much. We won't be able to do this because we can't really meet anywhere on price. You're awesome. So we'll work together on your next company. And the guy turned to Harry and I and was like, there will be no next company. I think you misunderstand. It's going to be massive. You either work with us now or you don't. And I remember vividly Harry and I leaving that room, looking at each other and being like, okay, shit, like we probably need to make something happen, whatever it takes. And it did. I think it was a little bit of luck and also very good connections with the founders. But again, that second thing is really focus. I think the third thing that they have, which is also really rare, is they have a very deep proximity with customers. And so that customer obsession basically translates into a better product over time, which translates into more revenue over time. It sounds simple, but it actually is true. And it comes into a couple of forms. Number one, I think they listen to the customers almost more than any other companies that I've ever seen. They have a Slack channel with every single of their customer, and 24/7 they answer them. I'm not making this up. Like I called more than 10 customers at the series, and they were all telling me, wow, those guys, they give them feedback. Within a few minutes, they answer. Within a few days, they follow up with the corrective actions that they have taken. The second thing that they've done is they have a customer advisory board with some of the best patent attorneys in the world. And those guys can give them very raw and direct feedback all the time because they have like proximity to them. They organize meetings with them. That's number one. But also they become ambassadors externally. And when you really, really want a new customer to come in, you can tell them, hey, why don't you join my customer advisory board as well? So all those things, they've done that even prior to raising the Series A. And I thought that was awesome to see. So yeah, then it obviously translates into traction and customer advocacy, but I think those three things are probably the basics of why we're bullish, and they all come back to the quality of the founding team. And so again, our job is really to back world-class founders, and I think the Solve guys are undisputably so.
That's so
Dude,
awesome.
That's wicked.
Yeah, I'd be bullish to have you on my cap table. Like, that's awesome. I mean, another one. I mean, this is obviously like a great moment for you guys. The fact that you get to follow on as well and co-lead with Visuous is amazing. The company sounds insane. What else have you been? You know, how's the 2025 been? We're coming towards the end of the year. You know, looking back, anything else that there are big moments and how are things looking for 2026?
Yeah, I mean, 2025 has been fantastic, I think, overall. I think for us, the mission, as I said, is really just to try and find world-class founders wherever they are. Give them as much as money as possible, obviously, like relative to the stage that they're at, and then try to enable them in any way that we can. I think if you do those three things right, in the current environment in technology where things are changing really quickly and like AI is kind of coming in, but at the same time, it's still early in the enterprise kind of adoption cycle. Well, we've just had a great year, right? We were able to invest in incredible companies. I mean, I want to give them a shout out as well, because thank you for trusting us, but obviously Solve, Peak, Airwallex, one of your sponsors, Altertable, Lafres, Delos, Slashwork that Julian has incubated. All of those things are things, there are many more, right? I can't list all of them, but like super proud of all those founders, and they make us happy on a daily basis. And so we've made those incredible new investments. I also think this is just the beginning. 2025 was the first year of us deploying our Fund 3. We still have a lot more great investments to make within it. I also have another big announcement to make in January for a Series A that we're leading. Harry has one as well that we still haven't announced. And so it's impossible not to be excited. And I think in terms of maybe a couple of themes specifically that we're excited about, I mentioned enterprise adoption of AI. I really think we're early. A lot of enterprises don't have the right kind of level of data, kind of governance to be able to plug AI properly on top. And so it takes time. And you're seeing incredible companies that are starting to address massive companies like the real economy and like Conduct here in London, Magentic in procurement, and Asclio as well, respectively in direct and indirect procurement. Really great companies that we've seen this year. And we've also seen very, very strong traction, and we think it's going to continue at the intersection of vertical AI, vertical software and AI. And so, for example, the team at Helios in London is doing amazing things. Avoca in the US and Voca in France as well, basically enabling trade or specific professions with voice AI, answering their customers when the staff may not be here. AI never takes holidays. All those things, they will happen. It's just a matter of when, and just backing the best founders in those verticals. So super pumped about this for 2026.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, there's just so much going on, isn't there? And we've spoken to a few of the guys a bunch of VC firms basically saying like it's just there's so much going on, there's so much like noise, but also like some amazing things coming out, especially Europe, because we speak to a lot of VCs investing in Europe, but also globally as well. I want to ask, like, how do you how do you guys find those kind of like top tier founders and companies from all of the stuff that's just going on at the moment? There's just so many people building, and there's the amount of, like, the speed that everything's moving at is like just super, super quick now.
Honestly, like, I'm gonna give a last shout out, but like there is this guy who is one of our partners called Alex Dewes. He's the best sorcerer in the world, I think. The guy like reviews like a maniac 50 plus companies every week, and he talks about all of them. And so actually we see a lot, and obviously we all source, we all chat to new companies, but basically we meet as a partnership every week and we chat about what we're seeing. And really, like, the North Star remains, who is an exceptional founders? Like, whether the category is crowded and they are number one, number two, number three, it's obviously a question that comes into play, and TAM and traction. But we really need to find exceptional founders. And in order to find them, you have to speak to as many companies as possible. And then if there are some really big red flags down the line, for some reason, like they might be directionally incorrect or the TAM is really too small for VC outcome, you also need to be disciplined to say no. But really, when you come back to the basics about finding people, the best way to find people is to have a great network of existing portfolio companies, is to have an edge with the podcast. A lot of those people seeing great companies or great people around them coming on and telling us, like, that person is really, really good, is to do it through the sub funds. So like we have a ton of different sourcing mechanisms, and actually even in the medium term, like Project Europe as well. Project Europe literally get founders at the earlier stages when they're just dropping out of university, they're enabling them, and those people are going to create category defining companies. And so we have obviously a look into what Jade and Kitty are doing, and perhaps we'll lead some of those seeds in Series A over time. Yeah.
How does that work? Does it? Obviously, you talk to them and you're very close with them in terms of how that workflow works. But actually, with details like how. Do you meet with them weekly? Is it just like a constant conversation of we've just found this person, or I've just had a conversation with this person that might be super interesting in 10 years and stuff? How does it actually work?
Yeah, I think they're super independent. So we obviously see them very regularly, but they're super independent. They're traveling all the time. They're organizing hackathons across Europe. They're finding the talent where it is. But obviously we hear about that incredible density of talent that they are finding. Some of them have gone to YC, some of them have already been acquired, which is absolutely fantastic as early results. That thing has only existed for 10 months, which is incredible to think about. And so, yeah, we sometimes meet that talent. Kieran was in Sweden with a lot of the Project Europe founders more recently. So we enable them also in any way we can as 20VC, but it's really Project Europe doing all that core work of making them grow and get to the next stages. And yeah, there are daily not daily, but there are conversations with them very regularly. We identify also those people, but really it's not just our job. I think we'll have done our job when 10 companies in 10 years that have come out of Project Europe will have 10,000 employees. Harry loves to say that, whether they're funded by 20VC or not along the way, hopefully. But this is for everybody to do it, all our friends across Sequoia, AXA Index, etc.
Yeah. I mean, we had the pleasure of meeting Kitty and Jade at Slush just after the Lovable party, and also when we were in the airport heading home. And it's very obvious why they're doing such an amazing job, because they're both just. They're both incredibly hardworking. Their chemistry between the two of them is excellent, and it's no testament to the amazing work.
They are legends. I mean, they could do any job in the world, and we're so privileged. Project Europe founders are so privileged, I think, to have them running Project Europe. And again, they are sparing no efforts and no expenses. They're going around Europe. I mean, sometimes when I see them in the office, I'm like, where have you been? And I went to Sweden, and then we're in Eastern Europe, and then we were at this university. And I'm so impressed with the work they're doing.
Yeah, it's not. I think the one that we saw that we liked, we thought was really funny. They stayed in this, this founder's farmhouse with the grandma.
They're grandpa's farmhouse in the middle of genuinely the middle of nowhere. Just before Slush, I think.
Going to meet the founders. They are it's not I'll come to the cafe and meet you. It's I will meet you in the middle of this hut in Norway. Really cool. Just
kudos to them.
Kudos to them.
Dude, thank you so much for the time. It's I'm super bullish on what you guys are doing, and it's still refreshing. I think so many VC firms need to take a leaf out of the book that you guys are writing. So congratulations on everything that you've done for 2025, and excited to see what you guys do for 26.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. Fun to be here.
Cheers, Paul. Get well. Thank you.
Amazing stuff. So good to talk to Paul. Quick word from Airwallex. Leave that data business banking behind. The all-in-one financial platform built for the pace of modern business. Multi-currency accounts, corporate cards, expense management, online payments, all in one platform. Go to airwallex.com. That is today's show over. Thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We will be back next week. We're going to be live streaming the Easies with Opus, the team over at Opus.
It will be normal. We're not live streaming the event. The event has already happened. The winners have been selected. We will have the winners on with Sam leading the charge. It's going to be fun. Tune in next Tuesday for that. But until then, you stay compliant.
Have a good weekend, guys. See you in a bit. Bye.